Hello and welcome to episode 421 of Tenno. I am MDRLOz, and I'm in this top right-hand corner, or left-hand corner for people, and to the left of me is Tobiah.
Hello.
There's Tobiah. To the left of Tobiah is Nasuth.
Hey guys, good to see you again. What anime are we talking about this time?
The one with the space Jesus. And then hiding in the corner over there, with the same hat as always, because he's... I don't know.
He only brought one.
There is Xeno. Right.
Yo.
Now, we are here this week to talk about a very special topic with a very special episode of 10 o'clock. We are here to spoiler the new war. Right, so it's before we get on to that, though, we should begin every episode like we begin them all with some emblems. There's some emblems. I think our guests, because we haven't had guests in ages, because Xeno gave up getting guests.
I didn't give up. I just gave up.
He just hates people. So we'll have our two guests vote and decide which is the winning emblem of the week. Got this Christmas hat for now.
One.
Tobiah votes on Tobiah's side. What? Nasuth votes?
Oh, see, I really like the one on the right, but I have to agree, the one on the left just has that special cuteness.
Yeah, no,
it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I like that one. I'll tell you, it's my favorite type of emblem when it looks like it's obviously probably actually going right to the edge of its boundary box, but because it's so cleverly done, it makes it feel almost like it's free and not trapped in a square box like they all actually are, which I really like. That's kind of my favorite type of emblem. Right, there we go. So Xeno, you win.
Yay.
Yay.
I'm a winner.
Yay.
I'll have a chicken dinner.
Winner, chicken dinner.
No, I'll tell you
Anyway.
what you can have, though. You can have some Dojo Dusting. And I'll
You're
get
going to put away the emblems.
There we go. I've done my job. I've dusted away the emblems. Now you'll dust away some dojos.
Right, so this week we have some platinum winners. We have Grey Archon on PC, No Lock, No Axe on PlayStation, Brujitsu 6166 on Xbox, and Tucker Wins on Switch.
Rigged!
Shut up!
Rigged!
I hate you.
Rigged!
They...
I'm gonna have to start entering on Switch.
Yeah! You know, I'll
Yeah,
start
just do it.
Switch to be
But I
do
don't
it.
play on Switch, so I don't want to take that away from Tucker.
Poor Tuck.
Well, maybe you should just turn to Tucker and say, like, throw me some goodness, and I'll stack it for
That
you.
is outside trading, Drew. I do not condone outside trading for platinum. That is against the Warframe TOS.
Isn't that inside trading?
No, because you're trading outside the game.
Oh, I see what you mean now. I'm with you.
Oh, no,
Well,
I
just trade for
thought
something-
you meant
Yeah,
get you some stuff on the Switch version of Warframe, so it'd be insider
Well,
trading,
why
I
would
guess.
But like my Switch one is a maxed MR26, so that from when the Switch came out, that I have barely done nothing with.
Right.
Fair.
Well, I was also going to
barely
point
done
out that
anything,
the cost of everything on the Switch is so massive. Tucker needs that just to basically buy things. I think he saved up like months and months to buy an Ash Prime. As I recall.
And
Gosh.
then Prime Resurgence happened.
Prime
Anyway,
Resurgence,
So
How expensive is Ash Prime?
it was
1K.
Yeah, okay. yeah.
Yep.
That's just wrong.
Right, so, all you lovelies, you will receive your platinum on your various consoles, probably before DE actually close up shop, so for the holidays, but yeah, you'll get it imminently. The other piece of
I
news...
assume before you continue, just to point out that there's probably going to be a break on additional platinum competitions over the Christmas break, probably starting again in the new year.
Yes.
Yeah, so just to let people know. There will be a link is there going to be a link in the description to this video for the voting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There'll still be polls this week.
Oh, okay. Well,
Right.
explain to people how they get them then and what they might win.
Well, if you go into the... Yeah, because I just realised we skipped that part of the emblems because we had guests for the first time in God knows how long. So if you go into the description below, you'll find a poll for this week's episode where you'll find this week's emblems, and you just got to enter it, and you'll be up for a chance of winning 75 platinum, which will come at some point in the new year. And yeah, just make sure your in-game name is spelled correctly. You've chosen the right platform, and just good luck. There you go. But the important side of this is we are taking a break between Christmas and New Year's. We need a rest. We need to charge our batteries, and we don't really fancy recording on Christmas Eve. So we're going to take a break. The next episode will be out on Tuesday, the 4th of January. Right? So, Tuesday, the 4th of January. It's not moving to Tuesdays, it's just that one, and then we're back to the Mondays. Right? So that is it for Dojo Dusting. Now we have the war report.
There we
Actually,
go.
before you move on to the war report, don't you need to tell them who we are?
No, you're just Tobiah and Nasuth.
There's a part of your script that's Tobiah from blank and Nasuth from blank.
Actually, does say Nasuth. As an
I
example.
don't know what you're talking about.
It's interesting that actually
somebody should use some nameplates.
Yeah, it's almost
I
like
don't have nameplates.
Maybe we should have that as like a section. The timestamps.
So I'm a super big jerk for these two because I do all their topics, and so I see everything that they say that they want to put in an episode. And so every time that I write topics, I'm like, oh, look, this is the prompt they're supposed to use for guests.
Fine. Tell us a bit about yourself, Tobiah, who's been on the show more times than the sun. No, you started this shit. You fucking started this.
Hi, I'm Tobiah. I run a bunch of data services for Warframe community people, not for Digital Extremes. I have nothing to do with Digital Extremes apart from playing their games.
Games? What are you holding out on us? They only have one game. There is only one game.
You've played The Darkness too, haven't you?
Yeah, but that's past games. That's like saying I played Star Trek.
Okay.
Have you?
Isn't that still playing their games?
No. I guess you're right. Yeah, but I was just making a point of how they only make one game. That's it.
Come on, they made Dark Sector. That's not fair.
They made Dark Sector. I can play Unreal Tournament.
We do all miss the glorious days of whatever the heck the MOBA thing that they tried was.
MOBA?
Hero shooter.
Oh yeah.
Do you mean the hero shooter? Yeah.
It's a MOBA.
It was not a MOBA.
Not a tumor.
Okay.
It's not a tumor. Anyway. Right. And now.
Wait. We have to. No. You said you were going to do this right. We're going to do the section. You said do the guest intro section. So, Tobiah, what drew you to Warframe?
Oh, shoot. So, right before finals week in my last year of university, I was looking for something to distance myself from the fact of impending adult life, and Warframe had just gone open beta that week. So I started playing and fell in love with it from dying 4 times in the first day and continued playing since then, except for 1-2 breaks, pretty much. One right after Necros came out because they basically broke the game and made it unable to be played. And one this last couple years with, you all know.
We all know. The endless wait.
Well, now the wait's over, isn't it?
So now we have to ask who's your favourite Warframe, because that's what it says in the list.
Excalibur Prime.
Yay! Best choice. And then it says at the end, what are the creators' socials?
What are your socials?
Oh, I'm Toby Tenno, Tobi Tenno, on Twitter. And just Tobiah0001 on Discord.
Hooray! Okay, now we shall move on to Nasuth. When introduced and announced the platform, the content is on. Nasuth is on Twitch. Hello, Nasuth.
Hi! I assume most of the audience already knows me. I hang out a lot in Xeno server. I do CompiCast with them, but I also do Twitch on my own time. Just, pretty much daily streams. I don't make a lot of other content. You can find some stuff on my YouTube, but not a whole bunch.
What drew you to Warframe?
The fact that it was a free-to-play game about space ninjas with magic kind of seemed like a really cool setting, so I decided to come play it for a while, and I ended up taking a relatively long break between my initial playthrough and Second Dream. No, actually, right before War Within. Right before War Within.
Ah, okay.
But that double team of story elements got me like back into it hardcore, and I basically haven't taken a break since.
Ah. Who's your favourite Warframe?
Ember.
Don't lie.
No, it really is Ember.
No, don't lie.
She has the most playtime on my account by like wide margins.
Yeah.
I think we should verify this. It in fact says not Ember. There you go.
It says Ember moved from game. There you go. And what are the creators' socials?
You can find me as Nasuth everywhere.
Nasuth. N-A-S.
Nasuth.
You gotta go to Google and type in Nasuth everywhere.
Nasuth
everywhere. Yeah.
So it's twitch.tv/Nasuth, twitter.com/Nasuth, youtube.com/Nasuth. Probably doesn't have enough subscribers to have that, so...
No, I actually do. Yeah.
No way! Congrats,
dude.
Congrats. And yeah, so there you go. Now can we do the war report?
I'll allow it.
Hit the button again.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, no,
Right.
I think Tobiah's had a good point there. We probably should have like another section. We need what should we call it for guests? It needs a meme name. Like the
Sounds
guest.
like a good poll.
Yes, that does sound like that's a good idea. That's a good poll. Right, anyway, we got the report. My notes from the report just says there was a war, a new war. And that was it. And also, just let everyone know, Prime Resurgence is still ongoing after you have returned from your comatose after finishing the new war and try to understand what the hell all that was. Yes, Prime Resurgence is still continuing. I think it continues into the new year. Harrow Prime Access has now... Is it Harrow Prime? Not Harrow Prime?
Yeah, Harrow Prime.
Yes.
Harrow Prime Access has now dropped, so that's available as well, just so people are updated on what is going on in Warframe. And obviously the new war has dropped, so yeah, if you weren't aware, or if you were like, oh, no, let's watch 10 o'clock, oh, what are these guys talking about? Oh, the new war's dropped. Okay, there you go. Now, after that, that was quick and that was done, and we're now going to move on to topics. Now, I want to say before we start topics that my brain is not focused really for getting the hype and enthusiasm up to this point in this episode so far. That's because I am desperately waiting to sit here to chat about the new war. All of my mental faculties are currently like building up points of complaint and positive, and then complaints, and then more positives in that order. Right, so let us push topic. What is topic 1 going to be, Xeno?
Topic 1 is the new war spoiler free.
Actually, down there.
I don't know why. Did you actually press topic 1?
Yeah, but pushing it.
Are you sure?
Not that we need. Yeah. It says
have you tried turning on the topic section?
Yeah, I'm in the topic section. I can see topic 1.
No. You turned off the group, dude.
Oh, the group's turned off. There we go.
Yeah, that's why you have groups. Don't turn off the group.
Don't have groups. Right. So yeah, we got
technology confusing. Right. So topic 1 is the new war spoiler free.
Ish.
Right. So, ish. We will be talking about the new war, and we'll be doing our damnedest to not spoil anything during this, from now up until topic 2. So if you get to topic 2 and you're like, I haven't played the new war yet, you can skip to... Oh, wait, are the memes in the community shout... Oh, the community shoutouts are safe. Are the memes safe?
Maybe.
You may want to skip the memes as well. Not entirely sure. Right, so are you giving him a quick once over now?
I will change one meme.
Right, so the memes are safe as well. He's going to change one.
Memes will be safe. I will just correct memes on the fly in a sec. Yeah, I'll change. Oh no, 2 memes. Let me just change 2 memes. Yeah, those are just I'll just change 2 memes.
Okay. And then the second topic is the new war full of spoilers. So we will be completely allowed to say whatever we want. For the second topic. To be fair, like I want to respect the opportunity for people that haven't played the second war, because
the second war
away. Yeah,
the second war.
So
the second war within the dream. Come on.
Come on. Okay, I'm also going to point out it's 12:30 at night. I have no idea what any of that was. I'm just gonna say yes.
It's what you sound like.
Oh, okay. When I'm tired.
Yes.
Right. The point is, I'm tired, and apparently that was an indication that I'm tired. Right.
Is that how you speak Welsh?
No, there's a lot more spitting and phlegm
and consonants.
consonants. So many consonants
Ah.
that do not make the same sound twice. Anyway, right. So yeah, let's move. Let's get on with this. Let's do topic one. What?
Yeah. So I'm swapping back topic one. There we go. Right, topic one.
Right. Okay. So who wants to start?
Well, not me, because I'm just quickly purifying memes.
Okay, fine. Tobiah, how did you feel about the overall experience of the new war?
I think there's great replay value compared to past quests.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of very good nuances that people will get each replay. Like, we just found something that Laws had found that I didn't find in the progress of the quest, or Drew for that matter.
Yeah, I hadn't found it either.
It's a lot more about relationships than any of the others. That was a big thing for me that I noticed.
You know, how did you feel about it? I'm getting the general vibe that you were happy with the end result.
I was.
Okay, let's make it easier. Score of 1 to 10. Score of 1 to 10.
Oh man, this is hard.
Is it that hard?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because
yeah, no. What's wrong with my brain?
If you want time to think, we can get Nasuth.
No, I'll give it an 8.5.
That's good. That's a good score.
I would give like the sacrifice like a 6.
That's generous.
And like the War Within and Second Dream probably a 7.
Okay. So you definitely feel that it's the best of the 4, right?
Yes.
That's excellent, right? I'm happy to hear that. Unless it touches on spoilers, are you able to elaborate on what held it back for you? I mean, you could easily say, "Nah, that's spoiler territory."
No, I think the only thing that held it back was long-lasting consequences. However, they have discussed that there will be long-lasting consequences. They're just not doing them in this update.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's. I think once those are in, it'll be a 9 or a 10 for me.
Fair.
There we go. That'll do.
All right. And then Nasuth?
I mean, he stole all my points, so no, I think there was a little bit of wasted time with a couple of things in it that could have possibly gone to other areas, but overall, I think it was a really good experience. I definitely want to play it again. I really enjoyed the story. It went, for the most part, where I was hoping it would go. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to double check, Loz. There's no point in this footage that you accidentally spoil anything, is there?
This footage is from like Tuesday.
Good.
I specifically recorded this early for that reason.
Good.
This is before the patch even dropped, so there's no don't.
Because I've done that. I did that with the Second Dream by accident.
Well, unless I somehow bugged the game at some point without realizing this was literally, I think, 2 days before the patch dropped. So,
so Nasuth, if you could give it a score, what would you give it?
Yeah, I'd probably go around an 8.5 or 9.
Okay.
It's definitely I would say Second Dream is also a 9 for me because of the the point of where I was coming back to the game and the depth of that reveal. But that's a lot of nostalgic value to me. But this is, if you take that away, it is probably about an 8 or 7. So yeah, I'd say this is definitely the top for now.
Okay. Again, anything not spoiling. What didn't give it a 10, unless it's spoilers.
I 100% agree with the lack of long-term consequences that come from it.
Sorry, can I just confirm? Are we talking longevity as in there's no there's nothing, there's no meat behind the quest. There's no content to do after the quest, or are we talking narrative wise?
A little bit of both.
Aren't you digging into a spoiler point there?
No. I'm just checking. I was going to stop there.
I'd say a little bit of both.
And just to reaffirm with Tobiah, is it the same for you? A little bit both.
I don't feel that narratively it left things not to do. Like, there's why I feel that way will definitely be a spoiler, but
Okay.
there's plenty to talk about narratively from after it. But I think purely gameplay wise, it's not like there's
War Within left you with the Rivens, this
and Kuva and
So
the Kuva
I
Fortress and
and I have mixed feelings about that part because there are certain things that I feel it does add, but there's nothing like it's not like it brought a new kind of invasion, for example.
Sure. So let's move over to Loz. Loz, you're taking a drink. Best opportunity for you to actually give your opinion.
Right. We can now begin. So, this quest was amazing in the fact that it was a tour de force of what DE can sit down and do when they put their mind to it. It was a journey unto itself as a single player experience. Lots of twists and turns, lots of unexpected additions. They clearly have interesting ideas, and they put them on display of where they want to take the narrative, which was really cool. It was a great culmination of the first, well, I would hope maybe the first arc of this game as a giant space opera narrative, because it just ramps up to crazy degrees in a lot of ways, which is great. The first point on that, though, the main issue I have with the story is its pacing. It does quite badly at points in its pacing. It also drops the ball in little, like half drops, loads of little points where it doesn't explain a few little things or introduce things very well. And so you're like, at some point, if you've been on a treadmill, sometimes you lose your footing. You have to speed up just to catch up with the rhythm of the treadmill. You do that a couple of times. You're like, wait, what? Oh, what? Oh, okay. And then you kind of like, yeah, I get what that means, sort of. And I'll explain why in spoilers if people don't know what I'm talking about. What else do I want to say as a positive? Oh, no, it was also, like I say, it was an amazing journey, and it did some really good things with new assets. It did great stuff with the music and sound assets were amazing. Visually, it's got some really great things. It also did something which I really love, which it not only retreaded and added to old grounds, but it reused existing content in a really good way. Yeah, I'm not going to say, I've got to stop myself from saying why, but so you don't just, here's just to point out as a comparison, I'll use an comparison, like you come to World of Warcraft does a terrible job of this most of the time. Whenever they add a new expansion, you have to get pigeonholed off in that part of the game, and you use all the new assets and that new island, you're not that, the rest of the world is just, no, that's past content. This does a really good job of bringing important parts of the world into focus and reusing them in a good way. Now, early on I said in there, though, single-player experience. This, gameplay-wise and narratively-wise, has now gotten to the point that it is breaking away from the multiplayer aspect of the game. It almost feels like, I mean, I would say there's nothing really amazing experience. Loved it. Thought everyone who worked on it did so hard, and it shows, and it's so good. So I know I don't want to white knight, but I'm saying all these positives. It is literally fracturing away from the multiplayer aspect of the game, though, both narratively and gameplay-wise. And that narrative thing was a little bit of a crack early on when we had our Second Dreams, War Within, Sacrifices, like little crack. I even was like, oh, Steve, that's a bit of a weird thing. And he was like, yeah. No, it fractured. Just you know that meme where it's like, go straight on and take the ramp off? Yeah, they've taken the ramp off. It's just gone.
What were they doing? The 90-degree turn?
Yeah, 90 up the ramp. It's like, continue on this way, or, oh yeah. When it comes to a division from the main game, there is now definitely the multiplayer sort of experience and story of what you're seeing and everything. And then there's the cinematic story, whatever, and everything that is just gone away. Now, hopefully, and I'm looking forward to maybe pitching a question at the first dev stream of the new year. Now that they've finished it as an arc, maybe in the next ones they can bring that back in, because and I'll get into spoilers why, but it was really annoying me now, that issue. You can't even sort of in things like the Second Dream and The War Within, all it would have needed was a few NPCs saying a few choice lines, and it would have just brought it back into scope fine. This now just literally just fractures and goes miles away, and it's just becoming a big problem for me. So I don't want to say anything about. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's my basic summary of it.
If you could score it out of 10,
as a single player experience, I would say 9.
No. As a
No, I'm not giving one
experience.
score. I'm not giving one score. I will not give it one score because of that.
Okay.
That's how. And the reason why is because I'm pointing about how much of a breakaway it is now. That it doesn't. You can't just give it one score, because from a single player experience of playing the quest in the quest of itself, 9 out of 10. Okay. It was amazing. It was everything and more that I wanted. As part of the whole of Warframe, 6, because then also, if you've pointed out I mean, they can promise all they want, right? That there's more stuff coming linked into the quest, but it didn't come with the quest. So at the moment, I have to judge on what we were given. And seeing as I've said, the overarching, link to Warframe, the multiplayer experience, the additional content that comes at the end, what there is, and what you're left with after the quest, both narratively and thing, it's like, as a part of Warframe, a 6. I mean, don't go wrong. That's why I'm being so mean, because like, oh, you hated it, Loz. No, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I sat down at like, God, I think. Right, okay, I'm gonna explain this. So about like 11 o'clock, I finished work at 9. Got home. I sat for 2 hours. I literally did all my all my phone app games and everything or any emails I need to send off. I cleared everything by about 11 o'clock, and I'm like, right, I'm gonna play this now. And I think I played it from 11 p.m. till about 5 a.m. in the morning for me.
And then he calls me. I get this call out of nowhere. Hey, can I talk to you?
That's we're talking now. Knowing full well that we would do this in about 48 hours from that point, I was like, no, I need to talk about someone else now. Who's up? And I missed Tobiah was actually on as well. Could have gone to Tobiah. Let's talk about this. So there we go. There's my opening thing about it, starting point. So yeah, what do you guys think? Am I being too mean?
No, I mean, your opinion is entirely up to you. I'm pretty sure you've got solid justification to why you've scored it the way you have, right? I was going to take opportunity to talk about my thoughts and feels and
go for it.
Non-spoiler. So I give, like, same as Tobiah and Nasuth, like 4.5 to 9. Sorry, 4.5? 8.5 to 9. Sorry, my brain just clearly had this mini stroke. No, I like 8.5 to 9. Huh?
That's a 200% range.
Yeah, sorry. No, I'm talking what's it called? 8.5, 9 out of 10. Yeah. So I was really happy with it. I genuinely, 2 parts of the quest I actually cried at. Right? I honestly, I got tears and everything. I mean, call it an overreaction all you want. Maybe I'm just in touch with my feels. I kind of now appreciate why Steve was so tight-lipped, because I don't think I could have kept quiet being on any form of public media. I would have been like, oh, fuck. Have you ever seen any of those interviews with, oh, crap, what's his name? The guy that plays the Hulk in the Avengers.
Yeah, Ruffalo.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo. Thank you. So there's a clip that floats around where he's in an interview with who plays War Machine? Don Cheadle?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, so they're in an interview together, and Ruffalo just drops the biggest spoiler right at the end of Infinity War, and Don Cheadle's like, dude, it's like, oh wait, no, that doesn't happen. It's like, you already let the. So I can totally appreciate why Steve was so tight-lipped, why he didn't appear on a lot, because he's just he would like I would. I would have just completely just ruined the whole experience. So I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I
He's
like
so
the
excitable.
I like the fact that by the end of Act 1, you just left with like, where the fuck are you gonna go now? Right? I
I
totally
think
feel
they also with that they also have plenty of gaps because of that specific end part. So we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
cool. Right. I was about to say, let's talk about that later. But I also totally feel like the lack of stuff to do after the quest. And also, I feel that the foundation that this quest was built on, it has a crack across the foundation, and it's like, is anyone going to address this? This doesn't make sense, right?
Well, you'll have to explain that in spoilers, so save that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I could. Yeah, no, let's keep it to spoilers. I feel that the community has received this quite well. I have seen the odd mention of people going, it was okay, but I do feel that the lack of something to do afterwards is hurting it more than anything else.
Yes, yeah, I can understand that. Yeah,
There really is just going to be the cry of content drought as soon as people get, a week out from this.
Yeah, the whole meme of the guy who eats the cake and there's content kraut, you can't blame the guy eating cake because there's just one cake. It's a lovely, amazing, super cake, but you're like, they really should have. You need a second course. There is no second course on this meal. It's just like
You got an appetizer, that's it.
No, you didn't get. No. You got no. Actually, I'll save this earlier. Right, there was no appetizer because I'll explain what an appetizer should have been earlier. But you didn't need that because the main course, which you don't always need an appetizer, the main course was so amazing. It was a beautiful, like, I don't know, roast meal. I don't know, British roast dinner. Perfect, best roast dinner you've ever heard. And then they went, here's an after 8 mint for dessert. That's it.
I'll give you that.
That's it. That's the analogy. So you're just like, do you guys get after 8 mints? You must get after 8 mints.
It's after dinner mints, but yeah, sure.
Little square.
No,
minty,
After 8 is a brand.
It's a brand. Yeah.
Little
square
no,
chocolate,
no,
very thin wafer mint. It's like
Andes.
They call it Andes.
Yeah, we get Andes.
Yeah, if that was your dessert, just one of those. Just like, there you go. It's like, I've just had this beautiful meal. I want to have a dessert. I want a special meal here. It's like, no, you just get. And then you get an IOU with it. There you go. IOU
Andes,
additional content.
Because the Andes is nice and light. It doesn't take away from how hearty the meal was. It's like, oh, that's a nice finish.
Well, true. But you were.
But we're all agreeing that the meal was not that substantial, that just an Andes mint or an After 8 mint is enough.
No, it's not that it's not enough. It's that it doesn't completely complement the meal correctly. It's fine. Yeah.
This analogy is getting a little too confusing.
No, I think it's fine.
Part of that is the perception of need to fill everything for a person's entertainment time.
Yeah.
From here until their next big story, which is a long-standing problem in the Warframe fandom.
But I do feel though that they could go. Honestly, for me personally, I could go a couple of years without another cinematic quest, maybe even 3 or 4. Like,
it's been
3 years.
3.
Yeah. But the problem was that we had part 3 of 4 back in 2018. We were teased part 4 2018, and then we only get it now in 2021. Right? That's the problem. Yeah.
I think part of the other problem though is that we had unsubstantial short-term operations in the middle of that. Like during the wait, that we were just like, okay, this would be fine if these stuck around.
Yeah.
But it, like, Scarlet Spear was the big one for me. Like, I enjoyed Scarlet Spear overall.
Yep, same.
Yes, there was parts that I hated, but as a concept, I was like, this is cool. This gives you the idea of we're fighting a war, and this is how we're fighting it. This is part of how we're stopping some of the spread. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
I feel that because the whole, I think it was in 2020, because originally the new war was scheduled to be 2019, Christmas 2019, right? And at January 2020, 2020, Steve, sorry, no, I'm just going to say DE. I don't want to pin it on Steve. DE turned around and said, we're going to bring the war back to Warframe. We're going to have a proper war that leads up to the cinematic quest of the new war. Honestly, my opinion, we didn't get it, right? Or we would have got it had Scarlet Spear stuck around. But I think it was unmitigated disaster, right? Yeah. They couldn't accommodate it, right? The squad link system, it needs more refinement.
It never really happened.
Yeah.
Because the reality is the squad link system was ultimately had nothing to do with being linked to one specific squad.
Yeah,
where
and it should have.
You're working with your friends.
Yeah.
It was, everybody's contributing to this pool, which is fine if that's what you say it's going to be.
Yeah.
Like if you go into the concept of squad link and it's actually like, hey, we're all going to be on this war together. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you say it's going to be the squad link that you promised us in a TennoCon, don't say that because it's not going to do that.
I feel that the large problem that they had was routing everything through central servers. Like this gets into the technical shit. So to keep it relatively low, I think the problem was that they tried to route all the traffic through the central servers because it wasn't ready. Right? It was the best. It's the best. Like, Tobiah and I'm very sure, Tobiah, you know how network traffic works from from university. It's not easy. Like, network traffic is like the hardest thing to accommodate for, right? It's the most analog element to any programming, and it's like, fitting the square peg in a round hole, right? And you can't do the Levi's approach of getting a hammer and smashing it through.
Yeah, right? And it has a square peg everywhere, but the square pegs are all slightly different.
Yes. So so I think that they kind of rushed the Scarlet Spear, and realistically that could have done with at least another 6 months to even a year.
No, because I was going to say, even from network point of view, ignoring that point of view, the railjack section of it was completely unfinished. It was literally just fly up to sentient ship, get on sentient ship. There was no railjack functionality at all. Whereas now they probably could achieve that because it actually exists in game, what they wanted to do, where you'd have to do stuff outside before gaining access to the ship. It would have made sense. And so even that was just not, a year behind where it should have been.
Yeah,
I could honestly see them redoing it and it being much better.
Yep.
Even just
sure.
Even if they just added some stages to the beginning of the mission.
Yep. And then the stuff on the sentient ship as well just felt really the literal bare minimum of content. Whereas I bet if they did it now, they could put some time in, make that interesting, maybe little sub-objectives that speed things up. It could have been a whole, or maybe some mini-bosses turning up. There's so many things they could probably add in that would work.
They could do it how they did part of Act 1 in the game, which I'm not going to say exactly which, but the specific section that we saw part of demoed beforehand with one of our favorite non-Tenno, that it was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. But that was Scarlet Spear. Not. We'll go back. So let's bring it back to the war. So Xeno going away with his stuff with Scarlet Spear.
Well, no, my whole point was that we held off not getting this ID.
Well, actually, no. I suppose I can expand on that actually, because it's not a spoiler for spoiler for part of Act 1, I guess. But actually, I think it is literally in the title card of the quest, so I don't think it's much of a spoiler. And I did call this spoilerish. The fact that it says about and it is in the thing, a tenuous alliance.
Yeah.
So that the build up to the quest. That's why when I rated it a 6 out of 10, actually, one of the things is to do with the game itself is there was no build up to this. This should have been 6 months of mini events, building us up, letting us see the Corpus and Grineer. Maybe there'd be an event first with the Grineer against some early sentient forces, and they will lose, even though we're trying to save them as many as possible, but they're pig-headed and they won't listen to us. So it's literally how many Grineer can you save from the mission, and then we have a similar one with the Corpus, try and use a new type of proxy to defeat the sentients, thing, and then they fail. So you've had that as a narrative thing, like, okay, so both the Corpus and the Grineer have had their own little mini events where they've tried, and we've had to come in and save the day so they don't lose too many. And then maybe they start having an event where they're working together, but not intentionally. Like, they're both just attacking the same point at the same time. So you get a bit back and forth between our known characters moaning at each other, saying like, "No, we will save the Origin system." And then Sargon Scrub goes, "Stupid Corpus scum, we will do it."
Their superiority.
Yeah, we're supreme.
That's what the Scarlet Spear was trying to be, and they just sucked at it.
Yeah, they just because it was just Grineer for one. It was just that would have been step one in that sort of process.
The Grineer sucked at it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it would have been great. That would have been a great first example for it, and then expand on that, and then have an event where we actually bring them together or something, and then we move into right now the sentient fleet is actually coming. Oh no's, go into a new war. There was no build up to it. It was just like, and there's alliance, and there's a new war. Just get on with it. Whereas it really
in the countryside.
War were declared.
Yes, exactly. War were declared. Hearing me. And this is the thing is though. This is why again I say it's a 6 out of 10, because this isn't just a single player game that can drop cinematic quests. And I was going to say this for spoilers, but in a mean way. It might feel a bit of a dig. It just feels like, okay, Steve. You finally got to make the Dark Sector game, the single-player Dark Sector game you wanted to back in 2004. You've made that now. Can you get back to making the multiplayer game? I know it sounds a bit mean, but that's kind of what I've
been comparing it to the Dark Sector too, like all the time. It's the perfect analogy.
Yeah. But there was so much more they could have done with this. That they could have even. In fact, I know it's a smaller thing. I almost feel like you could have chopped up this quest. Like, and that's the thing is, they try that and they just do these little dribs and drabs. But if you took this quest as it is and chop it into sections, there are, and I'll explain in spoilers why, but you could stop at certain points and literally drag out, like the quest will now pause for 6 months while we do this section, and that would have been cool. And it could have been a multiplayer event where everyone was doing their own thing, progressing that story and their player objectives and things. And then the story will continue in 6 months.
They would have had to very roughly chop it though, because there would be like the very beginning intro stuff, then a part where the player character is more involved.
Yes.
But that would have had to be a later piece, because if you'd done that first.
I'll explain in spoilers my full concept, so don't worry. Yeah, we'll do that in spoilers. Okay. And I'll explain my concept to you, how it could have worked. But I see kind of what you mean. But yeah. And that's why is that it honestly feels like they were just like, oh god, we're tired of making it. God, we have to make a multiplayer online game. Guys, don't you remember the days we made single player games? Wasn't that a lot of fun? Let's make one of those.
Well, I think that at this point in time, we've said what we're going to say in terms of the non-spoiler section.
Right.
We've been doing the non-spoiler section for over half an hour.
Oh, great, good.
Wow.
There we go. Anyone who hasn't done the quest yet, you've had enough. Right.
Bam. So we're moving on to the spoiler section now. If you don't want to hear this part, I'm bleeding this out in case you've got it on a tab and you're like, shit, which tab is it? Oh god, Control Alt F4, low-level format computer, make sure I don't hit. So you should be able to find us now, and you should be able to skip to the
Triforce the hard drive. Triforce the hard drive.
Triforce the hard drive.
Exactly. I'm sure they could have pulled out their headphones or smashed their speakers in the time, but let's give them one last thing. Heavy spoilers coming in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Right. Who wants to start?
Why don't we start with Loz so that he can break out exactly what you're saying?
The point I was saying, right? So what you could do is obviously you've got the section with our friend the Drifter, right? And it cuts that point where you've got the new star chart, where you literally, it's like, they have won. They have the whole star chart. Yeah. We also are aware that there's some sort of timey-wimey stuff going on here. It's like, ooh, what's going on here? So we could have had it that you can in some way, it would have been a little bit of like, you just have to jig it in there a bit. You can at any point return to the normal timeline as we know it before the great taking over the solar system, but players could do their single player experience with the Drifter, and it's seeing as it's multiverse, the effects of everybody doing their own little single player bit with the Drifter every now and then, maybe every week or so, or you've got a week to do bits or progress here and there. Saving the solar system, progressing it would be a really cool you have to expand on it obviously, but a 6-month cool expanded event.
Can I jump on the back of this?
Go for it.
Because that's not how I understood this to work.
What?
Right? The whole point is the normal universe only has one path of progression. It's only the void that has multiple paths.
No, the void gives the universe multiple paths of progression.
Yes, that's it.
That's how eternalism works.
Yep, it's eternalism.
Both exist in the multiverse,
but only in the void. That was the whole.
No,
of the void.
No, it's because of the void that anything you can reach anywhere through the void.
Yes, but you have to be in the void.
No,
I'm pretty sure that's the case.
It's a through, not an in kind of thing.
It's a polytemporal nexus. It can work however the hell they want it to work.
Fine. But I mean,
I literally wrote that down from the lesson because I'm like, polytemporal nexus.
Right. So my problem with how you were saying it, Loz, was because if they broke it into, like, let's say we had the Teshin, Cal, and Viso sections, you'd have to do those before, like, as one piece.
Yes. Yeah.
And then split it there before you had the operator going to the ship. Because the operator. Because once the operator's pulled in to hell,
right,
you can't stop there.
The cliffhanger would be Teshin's hat getting crushed.
No, you just put a giant weird floaty void crystal in the back of the set, and when you touch it, your operator sort of wakes up in your ship, and it's like, that was a weird dream. And then it just at any point you can touch the crystal, and he's like, where'd this crystal come from? And you touch it, you go back to Drifter. And you don't explain it.
Well, I think they could just use the Lotus hat for that.
Yeah, the Lotus hat. Yeah, in fact, or the Lotus sitting on the chair with the Lotus crystal. Just touch that, and it takes you back into. It's like, whoa, this is a weird void connection-y thing. I mean, don't be wrong, it's a bit ham-fisted, but I'd rather have my interesting multiplayer story experience with a little bit of ham-fisting than my locked-off single-player game experience, which doesn't really at this point have any right to be a part of a multiplayer game because it doesn't want to be anymore.
I can agree with that slightly, but I also think the people who, in the middle of the new war, were like, "Hey, can I put in a support ticket to get me out of the new war?" It's like, okay, there was a very big window at the beginning saying you are going to be stuck for a significant amount of time.
Yeah.
If you do not want to do that, don't type.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, people don't necessarily know what they're getting into at that point.
No, but it says it's a long time.
A game has never given me a disclaimer pointing out to me.
I know people that have had trouble fighting the Archons, and they can't get back to the. They can't take a break and get back to the normal game.
You just don't go to the Archon mission yet.
No. When you get to that point, you can't go back.
I mean, you're still on the hideout.
No, I think what they're saying is at that point, and because this is the thing, because it gives you that whole solar system. The only options are 3 nodes to fight the Archons of your choice, right? You can't be like, hey, I want to go farm.
You can't go back to the normal origin system.
If you log into Warframe, all you can do is fight Archons till you win or give up on the game.
Yeah. Yep.
I will. So I get that because I did have some trouble with one of the Archons where it was just not taking damage, and I literally had to quit for a couple hours. But I think that's my advice to people, though, is if something is frustrating you, don't keep trying to bang your head against it, and don't hate the game for it. Take a break. Watch a movie. Watch whatever.
So I here's a question for you, because Nasuth, you know someone that went through this, right? I'm not going to name them, but if they couldn't do that Archon,
they tried all three. They tried all three for several hours. Apparently,
you have the opportunity to go to do. Like, what were they struggling with?
They just kept dying. Like I even showed him my footage and told him you need to use cover more, and
Yeah.
he just couldn't quite get that concept down. You've really got to be careful about how you angle up your shots and stay in as much cover as you can. And he was just trying to brute force it, I think.
So I guess the question is this something that should have been locked behind, like, unlocking the steel path?
What do you mean?
No.
So my reasoning
Because
there is
Steel
like the
Path
steel
doesn't teach
path.
you these. But Steel Path doesn't teach you these skills. People just bring a nuke frame or an Inaros or a Vauban and cheese it.
Mm-hmm.
I get that for some of the missions, but I'm talking like forcing you to solo at least one exterminate.
Take an Inaros and you're fine.
I wouldn't have minded if I actually get behind Tobiah on this because and got annoyed about. I liked it when the game was actually. There was a few points I failed. I didn't fail in the Archons, but it was difficulty. I don't think I ever failed a mission. Sometimes I'd knock down, get it back up again. I actually liked it when it was challenging content while doing a quest. I didn't want it to be freaking easy the whole time. I recorded
agree.
myself. There's when you in Carl when you get in that little gun turret.
I forgot to do that for the longest time.
I thought that was utter cheese.
Yeah, it's invincible. I literally was like, okay, I was getting this gun turret, and I went, wait a minute. And I was like, I've recorded myself. I just pick up a book and just start flicking it. You got Sentience just like shooting his laser beams at you. And I turned the turret around so Carl's back's facing them. Still invincible. And I really hated that. Like, I just, I wish. I think my footage is not very good because it's the. I don't think I got the something to do with the quality right, so it's not high quality, so I can't really show it. But I just sit there bored and just like playing with the camera and just making jokes because you're just invincible. It's just so pathetic. But then there were points out in the quest which were hard and difficult, and I really enjoyed them. However, how about this if you guys think this is a good suggestion, right? So these people are stuck doing the Archons, and this thing, I also hated that the solar system just gave me these 3 Archon missions to do with no other options. Why not put a few extra nodes and that the option to say, before you fight the Archons, you can weaken them by doing additional nodes around that on that map. So if you want to, and you're a good player, you can just go straight for the Archon. If not, you can do additional missions to reduce it and weaken it.
Sort of like a Lich mission or Lich progression.
I wanna propose an alternative. Do you remember how with the acolytes you have to hunt them down?
Yeah.
Right? They're on a planet and you have to hunt them down. How would you feel about that?
No, that's that. No. Now you made it too complicated, and you haven't fixed the problem of people having issues with Archons. You just thought of a cool idea and want to stick it in. You want to make it that the issue is you don't want to drag the quest out too long for some reason. I would have loved that, by the way. I want to say that's a great idea. I would have loved it, but I'm thinking for the normal player, the quest is already quite long. Their problem is the Archons. You need to give them an option to somehow give additional content to make the Archons easier, additional nodes on the map that they could choose. Like, right, you can either fight the Archon at full strength. I can't think of a good example though.
Maybe if you fail a few times, Ortis just goes, "Hey, I've scanned these additional nodes and I've found their weakness."
I find that insulting though.
In the process of doing the Unum, if you let's say you saved more, or not the Unum, let's say you had to go to Cetus first instead of after the second one, and when you free more people, you weaken the Archons.
You need something like that as an option, as a side thing. But
the reason I'm saying that is because that would almost force you to do the stealth a little better.
Some people might not want to do the stealth though.
But that's the problem, is you really need to do the Archons.
Yeah. So stealth, cover, whatever you want to call it. I'm struggling to get my head around this, right? How are people struggling with the Archons, but none of the rest of the quest, right?
Because a lot of the quest is super easy.
So I will admit that the Archons were the only part that actually gave me trouble. And the only reason was because they were, one of them was just not taking damage. The owl just
But that's a bug.
From me. Right, which I get that. But that's the thing. People don't know if it's a bug or if they just...
It's a gameplay feature they're not realizing. Yeah.
Right, but my point is that you're playing the quests. You're doing the first initial quest as the Drifter, which I loved, by the way, because I didn't even realize what the hell was going on. I loved that being thrown in the deep end. But again, that I had to do super stealthy. Like your second ability is literally drop a grenade, a smoke grenade, to stealth the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right?
I love that. It was so cool. I love the drifter sections. They're amazing.
So unless you are playing it, you're not dropping smoke grenades anywhere and you're just running headfirst into all the combat, right? I cannot understand why taking cover seems to be such an alien concept by the point you're doing the Archons.
But, okay, I think the thing you need to do, Xeno, is you need to put yourself in other people's shoes. Other people are not as good as you at video games. Other people don't remember concepts as you as well. Some people get motion sick walking down straight corridors in video games. It does happen, right? Some people have these issues.
Sure.
Right? But you're really good at games, and you go like, right, I've played another game, it's a cover shooter. I don't have the ability of my super ambidextrous, agile Tenno, right? Warframe right now. Right. Let me bring in my ulterior knowledge of how to use this game like a cover shooter, whereas the game had never taught you to be a cover shooter at this point. It teaches you +4 to win, so they can't do that, so they have problems. So you need to accept that that's how some people get.
I would actually disagree. The second dream is not the second dream. The War Within is very big on cover shooter, at least for parts of it, when you're learning about your abilities.
But some people might have done that years and years ago.
But not only that, you actually have the space dock where you're infiltrating the space dock, and you have to hide behind shit to get past the.
Yeah, but I'm fighting something now. That's like some weird quest thing. I don't have to do it while fighting. When fighting, I press 4 to win.
It feels like. Don't get me wrong.
Are you talking about the bishop part on
Fortuna
Valis or on? Okay, because there's two different
parts
that I'm thinking.
Valis.
Yeah.
So, right, on the Valis or in Fortuna?
No, I'm talking about inside the space dock on the Valis.
Because you don't actually have to hide there. You just have to get around them.
Yes, but you still have to hide behind. You still have to hide behind. Wait, can they just? Is it a time-based thing? Because I swear, love of God, those things just saw me and like instantly I was gone.
Oh no, that was only in Fortuna that happened to me. Once you're in the space dock, it was like you could get seen a couple times. Like I got seen 4 or 5 times and nothing happened. Like I just walked right past them, except for the last 2.
No,
where you have to climb over them.
No, that thing took me like 5, 6 attempts because I kept on getting seen by something behind me. I never saw them.
Oh, I didn't at all for that one. But that said, I don't play a lot of cover stuff either. Like putting it in perspective, I don't play a lot of cover shooters at all. I suck at anything that's cover based, except for like Insurgency. But that's like stand behind a wall forever, and so you don't die. But
I think
so. When I was sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna let you go first.
Let's hear from Nasuth.
Yeah. So when I was playing it, very early on, I was definitely doing the whole like running headlong into the enemies, trying to kill them as fast as possible. And at least I very quickly learned that you can't do that. And so I started playing it more like Dark Souls, where I'd stand back with a bow and try to like just get 1 or 2 enemies and that take as much cover as I could, and that started working out. So yeah, I think people should hopefully have picked up on those clues. I don't know for sure how you could really miss it, but
maybe as Loz said, maybe you saying that now, like I remember struggling metric fuck tons with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I was doing exactly that. I was running in head first, like, oh, why can't I just do this? Oh, I don't understand. And it wasn't until I
OP Jedi.
Yeah, OP Jedi. Why no Mace Windu? We're purple white saber. What's it called? I'm fabulous. No. So why? I struggled a lot, and it wasn't until I watched a YouTube channel when they were playing it, and they were playing it like a fucking Souls game. I was like, oh, I should play it like a. Maybe as Loz has said, right? Maybe it's a case of my brain has just instantly switched gear. I haven't even fucking noticed, and I'm treating it more like a Souls game without realizing it. And so you know what? I'm gonna backpedal, and I'm gonna say you should have the option to fight the Archon where it is straight off the bat, right? But there should be other nodes on the planets that just exterminate missions.
That was my idea from literally 15 minutes ago. Okay, cool.
Yes. No,
Just
I'm
checking.
agreeing with you
Just checking
entirely.
you weren't
Yeah.
subverting
Right?
me.
I'm backpedaling.
Yeah.
Right? Loz's idea is epic idea. Do Loz's idea.
Yeah.
I think it's
I
also a
almost
really good
wonder-
idea for accessibility reasons, because I know somebody else who's going to have a really hard time with it because they have to play with controller, and even then they struggle to like hit the buttons properly.
Mm.
And so being able to weaken the Archons might work out for somebody like that as well.
Yeah. Or at least practice against the Archons, so the Archons turn up a little bit and then they fuck off.
Well, and I think that's the problem with the first time you play against the Archon. It's just like you're dead if you just stick around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what is it? You got your mate Hunhao chilling in his mum's basement, gives you the lowdown on all these descriptions, and I was like, wasn't making notes. Hang on, can you start again? Can I have notes? He gives you all three of them, and then tells you about like what happened, what they're gonna do, and things, and some of their abilities. But then says, right now, go pick them. You're like, but I can't remember what you said for the first one. That would have been great if it was when you started it. He started talking to you in the mission as well to let you know what the attacks are going to be telegraphed. But no, you have to go see him in the basement if you want to have a chat with him.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to have.
You can't, can you?
No.
Okay.
No, because it's not a location. It's just a.
Yeah.
It's just a cutscene. Good old cutscenes.
One of the videos you're allowed to go to.
Because of the bugs when it first came out, I actually missed a bunch of the first cutscene, which really bummed me out. Well, and I couldn't cancel and go fix my options.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like transmissions and speech are two different sliders, right?
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, I had speech turned down, but not transmissions.
It really should have a warning thing for that. Yeah.
Yes. That said, I acknowledge that was my own choice.
Yeah.
To not have the speech turned up.
Loz,
I think they said on the dev stream to. Sorry,
Loz.
Say that again,
Loz.
Sorry.
Sorry, I was just checking. Loz, did you get my warning about turning up Nora?
I was tempted to reply to you. I did see the warning, but I was going to reply to you and say you're the only one who has reduced her in volume.
Oh, I did. I had her reduced. Not all the way, but
I had her off. I had her off entirely. So when she first talks at the Drifter camp, I missed the whole bit.
There's also what really annoyed me, and I actually was watching some streamers yesterday, and I think two streamers, and they both said the same thing when they finished the quest. If you've still got streamer mode on,
yeah,
it feels really weird because you spend all this time right at the end of the quest choosing your Lotus Natar Margulis, and then it cuts to a in-game mailbox with a thing popped up. But if you've got streamer mode on, you get basic Lotus. And both of them went, wait, that's not the one I picked. What's going on? And then they check their chat.
Well, I got Lotus Prime even though I picked Natar.
Ah, okay. Weird.
Yeah, I think
very strange.
I think that's because you.
Do you have it in streamer mode, Nasuth?
Nope. I turned it off for the quest.
I think that was just like the problem that they have.
I think the recording was always Prime.
I think it's supposed to be Prime.
No.
But if you've got streamer mode
mine
on,
was Margulis.
Oh, was yours Margulis? Okay, mine was
Margulis.
The streamer mode.
One I picked.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's probably just a little bug. When it was
still good.
The same thing when I picked. When I picked Natar, it showed me one of the other ones. I can't remember. I think Eidolon Lotus. So yeah, it was definitely a little buggy.
No, you picked Natar. You got Fusion Lotus.
Okay.
You got upgraded pointy Lotus.
Which is Eidolon Lotus. Oh.
No, Eidolon Lotus is the broken one.
Right.
That you get during the course of the quest. Anyway, okay, so we've spoken about the Archons. Does anyone have any other points that they want to highlight, or can I move?
So the long about Archons. No, go ahead.
No. Like, do you want to pick the next?
I was going to talk about the long lasting effects. So how there's no real, apart from the 2 bounties that are very missable because they don't ever mention them.
Nope.
Those 2 are so awesome though.
Really?
So the Narmer
They're just normal
isoplasts.
bounties, though.
No, so here's the thing: the Narmer isoplasts are generic reputation for. I think they are for the Quills as well, but they are for sure for Vox Solaris.
Yeah, it's for
Vox
both.
Solaris is really hard to get rep for otherwise because you have to get toroids. Those give you double the amount that a single toroid does, and they drop in batches of. Yeah, they give you 2,000 each instead of 1,000.
Right.
And you get batches of 1, 2, or 5. And you can get multiples across the same bounty.
Right.
Bounties
So
themselves
you
are
can get
still just the same old bounties.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
I see. I think Tobiah, I didn't know. But did you? Are they a universal medallion? Is what you're basically saying?
No, they're not a universal medallion, but they are for quills based.
Oh, so the advanced reps. The
Quills
advanced reps.
and
Okay.
Vox
Now,
Solaris.
I would definitely agree with Tobiah. That's actually really awesome, and anyone who is a
Oh, it
really
is.
great
I
catch-up
agree.
mechanic, and that's a great reward. I did not know that was there, and it's a shame because that is actually feels like, oh, that's cool. It'll help people do that. However, I do also agree with Nasuth. Our method of obtaining them is really weak, really weak. I think I said this to other people, but I'll point out why. Yeah, they are just copy-pasted sort of bounties, but more than that, the enemies you're fighting, this whole Nama thing, which I'll get into the lore of it later, but as an enemy type, this is something Destiny 2 does. Warframe can have. Well, they've already had half a pass of it because basically that's what corrupted are, where you just get existing mobs and slap a thing on their face. The thing is, they're doing it again and making a whole faction this time off of these are the same mobs, but just with helmets on. And now they're a new enemy type. Ooh, look, it's Nama. They're not Corpus. They're not Grenier. They're Nama. It's like, okay, that took you all of 10 seconds. Or somebody made a mask, and then one person made an effect for that above the head, and then you just paste it on and just change the text to Nama. It's so weak and flimsy. Maybe they're going to expand on what Nama are, but really weedy.
I think that's also to point out how much of a sham Ballas is supposed to be.
He's dead.
It's a very weak redo of what the Orokin did.
It's discount corrupted, which does kind of make sense because it's Ballas, but
right, like lore-wise, that's passable. But yes, I agree with you that as a faction to push the game forward, it's weak.
Nama needs.
I was hoping for an actual sentient faction that's not just vaguely sentient.
Well, so we were talking about something right before we started recording with my background, which for those of you who haven't been able to tell yet, I wasn't going to point out exactly what it was, but it's one of the preview backgrounds, where it's the operator facing a horde of sentients with and Ata. So the idea being that, like Nasuth saying, we wanted some. I'll let Loz explain exactly what he wanted, but more sentience than just let's have a couple at a time.
Yeah. But no, I'll come back to sentience because I want to talk about them as their own little thing because But Nama, like if they're going to be a faction, because that's the thing, it's like that after you put Lotus in, your character talks to Lotus and says like, oh, Nama, blah blah blah, and someone's going to fill the void and everything. That if there was like, if Error didn't die and thus took over Nama, at least we then have a focal point for like, okay, so Error's now in charge of Nama. But Nama has nothing. Error's gone, Ballas is gone. They are literally, as far as I can tell, junkies wearing helmets that just make them feel good. That's all they are at this point. They have no agenda, they have no goals, they have no leadership, they have nothing. They're literally just normal people who put helmets on that just warp their minds. And they're making more helmets to put on more people, and that's it. There's no goal.
I want to say they're supposed to be akin to like the Zealots from the earlier Night Waves.
But but that was again that was a complete picture. You had the leadership and the gold and the infestation and the what's Nama doing?
Right,
putting helmets on people.
Well, the Zealots didn't know that there was the infestation. That's the thing. They were just like, oh well, we're worshiping Aldo or whatever his name is.
His healing powers,
Aldo.
yeah.
Oh, you mean the oh gosh, yeah, they were the Zealots before they were the emissaries, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was that you allude to the players. There was something more going on there. And it's like cool, right? Whereas this, it's just like we knew what was going on. It was Ballas made them. Ballas is gone now. Error is gone now. These are literally weird people wearing helmets that are now apparently a new faction. do they control ships? Do the same ships? I mean, have we got any of the main characters taking? I mean, if Neff's gonna like take over as like some visionary because they all believe in Neff and worship Neff now, I'd be like, yes, this is going somewhere. At the moment, I'm like,
that would be really interesting.
That would
if,
be.
like Neff had stepped in and been like, "Oh, praise Norma, praise Norma."
That would have loved that actually. Yeah, that would have been brilliant. And then he could slip right in as the new leader of that faction. But at the moment, I'm just like, well, you just dumped us with these people wearing helmets, which is really quite lazy. Also, that was one of the things I said as a thing while we're doing Narma. It never explains what Narma is. This is one of the points where you have to catch up on the treadmill. They'll just start saying Narma at you, and you're like, what the frick is a Narma? Is that a thing? Is that a person? Is that a place?
Well, I assumed it's what they were calling Ballas.
No, it's his empire. Yeah, I'm with you actually. I thought at one point that was my idea. Is that what is Ballas taking on a new name? It's Hail Narma. No, Narma is, in my understanding, Narma is the name of Ballas's empire, of which Ballas is the top.
But Ballas is like the only free individual in the Empire.
And Era.
No,
Yeah, well, and Era.
Era's not really free though because he only
He rebelled.
can do what. Yeah, and he can only do what Ballas allows him and tells him to do.
Yeah, I know because
he rebelled.
No, he rebels. Okay, but you're thinking from a linear point of view, from a non-linear point. No, Era.
From an eternalist point of view.
From an eternalist point of view, Era even turns to Ballas and say, "Look, this is amazing. Look, we've got all these people worshipping you, and the whole solar system's on our control." You know, he was clearly quite along with the Narma project. He thought that was great, but Ballas was like, "No, they don't really love me. I need one random woman I already killed to love me, or some other rubbish." Oh, his character was butchered. So many characters butchered.
Never cared about me.
Yeah, but so Narma needed that whole montage where it zooms in through the system and shows you the sentience capturing the system, and then it needed to explain what Narma was. It just felt so disconnected. Or maybe when you start playing as Drifter should be talking to I think it's Ordis he's talking to, explaining about how Narma got here in a clever way. Instead, the player is just like, "What's a Narma? Is that an enemy? Is that a person? Is that a weapon? Is that a ship? Is that a planet?"
Maybe Nora could have done it.
Nora would have been perfect.
Yeah, Nora would have been perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
How did she not get captured and turned into a Norma?
Because she's on her ship, floating about.
Nihil got to her.
Yeah, but Nihil was after her specifically. Whereas Ballas would be like, can't be fucked.
There's somewhat random person sending radio waves out when people
no
randomly
one listens to the fucking radio now.
Or randomly
That's
put
true.
a signal down.
The only reason why Nihil, got pissy about it is because he does actually listen to the radio.
Oh god, he's one of those old people that listens to like NPR or yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Ballas is all hip with the kids and shit. All about that VR crap. He's signing up for VR headsets.
Join the meta. See, they should have called it the metaverse instead of.
Oh my god.
Join meta.
So I kind of want to give some praise to the update, the quest and things, because I feel like we've been critical, fairly so, but I want to give it some praise. I did not see the narrative of we're throwing the Lotus into a black hole. Did not see that coming. I did not see I was just really impressed. I thought it was really, really well done.
If you want to move some positives, I loved the Drifter coming in. At first, I thought that was Viso, that first mission. I thought, okay, I'm playing Viso, this is really cool. And it's the Drifter. And it turns around and says you can customize him. I'm like, wait, that's not Viso. Wait, what is this? What? I can put him in Grenier Git? Who is this? Oh my god, it's like me, but older. Wow, this is so amazing. What is going on? Oh my god, this is a floating trash can that looks amazing with a little cape. That's so cool. I really loved it. I hope he gets it back in some way. That was really cool. And the missions, I loved that it scaled the game back down to a really small scale. You didn't have your powers. You had a healing stim pack, a radar. I felt the radar cooldown was a bit too high. It could have chopped 3 seconds off that, please. And the smoke screen and your pistol. I loved the reload mechanics of the pistol to give a super shot. That was really cool. The exploring on missions, it felt so, you were doing the same mission tiles, but, a little bit of lighting change, a little bit of enemy change. It was like, it felt stealthy, felt unique, felt amazing. Like I was saying before the spoilers, I'm just throwing positives if you guys want the positives as well, because I can throw a whole metric ton of criticism again, but I'm going to keep doing positives for a bit because you want positives. So I loved how it reused both Fortuna and what's the Eidolon village, the Cetus. I love those sections using stealth gameplay. It can be done in Warframe. It showed it was amazing. The Cetus one, I failed a couple of times. That was my hardest bit, and it would reset my thing. You know I learned you have to be really clever with the stealth, and kind of even just blipping in and out of stealth would help you get further away. If you just went stealth, ran out, they could hunt you down, and they did not give up. They would sometimes go, "I'm gonna find you," and if they did, you reset. You're out of 10 for additional Ostrons. It really kicked my ass. I love that we went into the Unum. The Unum spoke only once, so I assume we're going to do more with that. That was really cool. Obviously, the playing as the Grineer, the Corpus, and Teshin, those were really interesting bits for phase 1. That was very cool.
I actually disagree.
Oh, okay. Go.
To jump in, actually, Nasuth, you jump in first.
See, I did like those sections, but I felt like it was a bit of a waste when we only got to play one little bit with each of them, and then they're gone.
How'd you know they're gone?
Gone out.
I mean,
Vesso's pretty clearly blew up with his ship.
That's what you want. He wants you to think.
Well,
he's in another timeline.
I think that's what we're also.
Sorry, Tobiah, you cut out. Yeah, you go.
Okay, sorry. I think that's what we're supposed to assume with Kala as well, but at the same time, we don't know.
Well, he was likely abducted and turned into
soldier.
On the ship and things, because that's what they were doing. You had banks of Corpus and Grineer just getting processed and things. I don't know why they just can't hand out VR headsets, but regardless of that.
I thought the Garbly Ortis at the beginning was a very good back to original Lotus transmissions.
Right.
Because if any of you weren't around then, if you go on the wiki and listen to them, there's old sound caps of how the Lotus sounded at the very beginning of when the game started, and it was more like Rebecca over a Garbly radio than VR based transmission. Yeah.
The one thing I really want to highlight is I was really happy with it. It actually took me a hot minute, and I think it was discussion with both Nasuth and Tobiah about how the Drifter existed, right? How the fact that the Drifter was the version of you that didn't do the deal, right? And that version of the Drifter, that version of you never had the powers. So effectively, the Drifter was working towards getting the operator back. Yeah?
Yeah. Because he couldn't.
Yeah, but exactly
he could only do so much. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, but exactly how the Drifter got out, we don't know still.
See, I have a theory about that, but it is me just writing things for DE, so, probably not worth saying.
What is your fan theory?
Head
All right. So, I have two that are in a very similar vein. The first one is so since Lotus remembers Era dying, the Era that we see was actually pulled by Ballas from one of the other planes. Because he knows obviously about multiverse theory and the principle of eternalism, or eternalism theory, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And we don't know if Yorkin had the power to do that sort of thing or not. But as in a very similar vein, I think that Lotus, or Nata, or whatever she was at that point, used the last of her power to do the same thing. She tried to either fix us or pull us back from another place, and instead she got the Drifter. Or maybe she tried to get the Drifter specifically.
Well, when she was in Eidolon form getting sucked out of the black hole.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think it was a black hole. I think it was a gateway to a weird gateway to the void.
Yeah, I thought it was the void portal.
I'm using it as a nondescript term because we don't really.
Fair.
And it looked black.
It was the same as the one that gets summoned at the end, which the man in the wall comes out of. It probably a void portal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think we can placeholder call it void portal for now.
Sure.
My thinking was along a similar line, but instead of directly being the Lotus, that there was background intervention by the Entrati family that we just don't get any real.
Or something from Duviri.
Sure, And there was some talk when I was on Nasuth's stream yesterday that the tune that the operator hum or whistles is like
the
part of the
drifter.
Deviri theme. The drifter. What did I say? Operator.
It's really easy to say that though.
Yeah. I mean, Nasuth or not Nasuth. Ortis mixes it up all the time.
Yeah.
But one of the lovelies in the arcade said that it was the Deviri theme, and I was like, well, we really don't know, because it could be that this is like we're actually going to go back in time and do Deviri stuff with the Drifter, which would be interesting, but we don't know.
I do remember. I don't remember it personally, but I've heard other people say that one of the lines the Drifter says is, "I should have stayed in Deviri."
Yeah,
I heard that.
I heard it as well.
I guess I never heard that.
And that
I don't remember hearing it.
It's on the battleship. Is when you're piloting the ship towards the end. Well, actually, it's because did you pick the Drifter or did you pick the operator?
Oh, I picked the operator.
So so you wouldn't have heard it. Yeah. You have to pick the Drifter. Yeah. The Drifter says it piloting the railjack towards the end when you're when you're fighting towards the sun. It's like, I should have stayed in Deviri.
Is the Drifter piloting at the end?
Yeah. If you pick when you had the choice between pick Drifter or operator.
Who you pick.
If you pick, I picked Drifter, so I had the Drifter was piloting the ship.
And the Drifter says, I should have stayed in Deviri.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Actually, and just to point out before I move away, sorry, Xeno, from that. That theory there you've got about time travel for the thing would now make sense for the Drifter, because in the Deviri Paradox trailer, the Drifter does try and shoot the beam and then goes, wait, well, hang on, where's it gone? Like, he actually does try and use void powers, which if you never had void powers, you wouldn't try and use them. But if you gained them and then lost them, you'd be like, wait, where's my Zappy Beam gone? You know, then that then explains why they try to use Zappy Beam but can't.
Yeah,
I think that's I mean, obviously that's a very old trailer, so it's possibly has a lot of outdated stuff.
Yeah. Remember Mother?
So
remember Mother. I only done a t-shirt.
I wanna railroad this, right? That sun fight, right?
So bad.
Destiny. That's how you do a fucking sun fight. Sorry.
Are you talking about like the Burnination stuff?
Yeah, do it with the spaceship. Do it.
Yeah.
No, if you're gonna do like waves of radiation coming from a star that you're super close to, at least be in a freaking space age super ship rather than just standing outside on a on the unexposed, because you are unexposed. There's nothing protecting you. Outage of a ship that's right next to the sun, which is what you do in Destiny 2.
When we get to
the ship.
When we get to Ballas's part, Ballas's fight at the end, we're basically just standing right in front of the sun.
But you can tell there's not waves of solar energy. There's obviously some Orokin force field or something. On the Destiny 2 one, if you stand out of the shade, you are being slowly attacked by the sun. There's literally nothing protecting you.
But
for some reason.
Regardless of that, I actually thought, again, it was cool the fact that, Space Grandma, I can't remember what the ship was called. It began with a P.
Yeah.
The Consumer or whatever.
Yeah, let's call it the Consumer. There we go.
Call it Plague Star.
Right? No, Consumer.
Bottle
right?
ship.
Consumer. Right? Anyway, the cool thing I liked about it was the fact that it was absorbing the sun's energy to create a portal to Tau. Right? I thought that was really cool, really interesting.
I don't think it was a portal. I think it was going to just like travel to Tau.
Well, no, because it was ripping. It was a giant hole.
It was a portal.
Because you could see it during the Ballast fight.
That's what the big red ring was.
That doesn't line up with what Ballast was talking about happening.
What did Ballast say?
He was going to destroy the system and go to Tau.
Yeah, he was going to destroy the system and go to Tau. And everyone else.
Yes, which would destroy the system.
Everyone else would be sacrificed. By staying
Everyone
there.
Else would be sacrificed because the sun was gone.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But if he made a portal to Tau, then there's no reason why he couldn't have brought everyone with him.
Because he didn't want to. That was the whole point.
Why?
He's selfish.
He's an idiot.
Well, he is. Well, yeah, but that's besides the point.
But if he made a portal,
none of them will kneel to him.
If he made a portal and then traveled through and it closed the other way, it's him traveling to. To me, when you say make a portal, I think make a permanent portal there in space. Which means anyone could travel through. You meant he would travel through Tau.
It's not a solar rail. It's more like what our It's more like what a railjack does when it travels into when it penetrates the void.
It's a super gate.
Yeah, but it would have closed after he goes through it. So you might.
More than
so
likely.
basically, he's just going to travel to Tau. You might as well not even mention the portal. It's just he's traveling to Tau. Like to me, when you say portals are
portal
open.
is important because that's the only reason the man in the wall came to our plane of existence.
Well, oh no, I don't think that that portal there was not his intention. That was no. You've lost yourself there. No. That portal at the end he makes to the void is when he says, "Screw it, I'll die and you'll die and we'll die with you," and he opens the void portal like he did at the start of the quest. Yes. He says, "That's it, we're fine. We'll all die together." That portal is not the portal he was intending to make with the ship. The ship was going to eat the sun because it's an eater of things, and then travel to Tau. He then gets mad at that point because that's literally the end of the fight after you've broken all of his sun dishes, and he's just like he's gone from like me and you are going to have words, missus, to just like almost fuck it. I don't care. I'll die. You'll die. We'll all die. Here's void portal, and then the man in the wall comes through.
I swear that portal was there the entire time.
No, it's
I
black.
thought so too, and I just watched somebody play it again today.
I'm pretty sure
there
that
was a portal there.
I think it's gold, isn't it? It's only that black portal at the end. Let me go find my footage. Oh, I can't actually look at my footage because I'll ruin the.
I
can look at my footage.
Let's all look at our footage apart from Loz.
Oh, I have to watch me playing. What am I playing here? Baruch. There's Baruch.
I'm looking at the synopsis of the quest to get an idea.
A synopsis.
Synopsis.
Yeah, so I don't think he actually opens a portal. He just stabs her, and then gets the.
Hang on, wait. Should be able to open it in VLC. Actually, that's what I can do.
Control 1, 2, 5.
So no, it's. As Ballas gains the upper hand, the Tenno jumps him and forces him to wear a Narma veil, deluding him into kissing Margulis, allowing the Lotus to reclaim her power. Suddenly, a large wall containing a multi-arm man pressing fingers emerges.
I think he's right though, because I'm watching my fight, and it is just like kind of a darker spot on the sun.
Yeah, no.
Until he opens the gate.
Yeah, there's one of the same thing you've seen, like the sort of almost like glowing Kuva big orbs, right? And then
he's not opening a gate though.
I know. I mean, in that room, there's a big on top of the plinth that you can't walk up to because there's like a ramp up to it.
Blah blah blah.
Oh no, wait, no, it's still just a dark spot in the sun when I put the mask on him.
Yeah, it doesn't change. It doesn't change until he's dead. And then once he dies, the man in the wall comes out.
Because she's a vampire.
Yes. She sees like a spot. She sees like a little like spot in the sun, and then suddenly or like in front of her, and then suddenly the void gate opens.
It kind of opens itself.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm going to say Loz is right on this regard, but Ballas doesn't do it. It just opens itself.
Yes. And now that we've spent 5 minutes looking at footage that no one else can see.
Oh, I wasn't looking at footage, just so everyone knows.
There is actually that the man in the wall, as silly as it is in appearance, is actually one of my favorite parts because of something I found out after.
What did you find out after?
He speaks 6 different requiems, and if you put those pieces of the poem in order, it basically talks about how he'll appear when the sun's attacked, among other things.
Right.
So
it's a prophecy.
From which poem?
The requiem. So all of the requiem cards have a little bit of a poem on them, like a verse. If you put them in one order, which is the one Albrecht gives you, it tells one story. If you put them in a different order, which is what the man in the wall gives you, it tells a different story.
Okay.
So what's the one that Albrecht gives you?
Oh gosh, I don't remember at this point.
Fine. If you don't remember, that's fine. I'm going back to it. I'm super happy with the quest. The crack in the foundation that I was originally talking about. Let's go back to pointing out the negatives. And Loz said this yesterday. Why did Baz give us the paracesis?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it had nothing to do with. I think that it was a pre-corrupted form of himself before he was corrupted by the sentience.
What what?
I think
it was still happening, right?
I think it's
but he
because
wasn't. Go ahead.
I think it's because originally Ballast was supposed to be, Mother was supposed to be the main bad guy, and Ballast was actually going to like potentially help us, but instead they brought in Era and a bunch of other stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Because again, the Era gargoyles, they were
Yep.
supposed to be an enemy unit.
Yep.
But instead there was only one of them, and it was Era.
And I'm one of the biggest mistakes they did because I know. So obviously, yeah, that I think that's what they did with Ballast. They completely changed his arc. He was not going to be the big bag. He was actually going to be. Oh, I thought I'd be with Margulis, and has changed, and he'd be this almost in some way sympathetic character who's been.
he'd probably end up sacrificing himself the same way that Era did for us.
Yeah. But then they got rid of Mother, and they brought in this character called Era, and they tried to make him this villainous thing. I'm sorry, I was never ever felt he had any substance behind him. I know it may look a cool gargoyle, and actually, if there was like 5 or 6 of those, it would have been like, oh, that's a cool bad guy. As a pivotal enemy character that was named, it looked unfinished, and it was clearly unfinished because then they gave him red orbs and things, which only came for this quest. He never had that in any previous bit of it, and I just
had 3.
Huh? Yeah, 3 orbs. Yeah, 3 orbs.
No balls. They gave him. Baz gave him 3 balls.
Yeah, Baz gave him balls.
Special.
Yeah, you better give the
Gave
character
him
some balls. And he was nothing but a whiny child. It was so pointless. This character should have been, or the sentience. Well, we'll get into the complaint. Well, I feel like me to whinge about sentience, but he was the final actual entity of the sentience that we got to experience after all the teasing for years and years and years. And he was nothing but a whiny child that got confused and then just got crushed by a piece of metal.
I think Era's coming back.
He's dead.
How is he dead?
He got crushed.
We didn't see him die. We didn't see that.
Didn't see the corpse.
Yeah.
I just really think it's
no
done.
one's really ever gone.
Even if he comes back,
except Teshin.
If he comes back, what's his character motivation? He doesn't have anything. He is literally paper thin.
In all honesty, I'd like him to be one of the faction leaders of Nama, and he is fighting the other faction leaders for control. So
then why bother killing him? Just have that would have been fine. I would agree with you. In fact, I would like that because he was almost the only thing you did see from him as a character was that he was actually quite happy with the sentience controlling the whole system and everyone being subverted. He thought, yeah, this feels fine to me. This feels good. We've achieved this. And it's only when Ballast slaps him down and says, no, this is nothing, that he's like, oh, okay. So if he came back, or he was the only one left, and he was like, well, I want to go back to Nama controlling everything, and what's my opposition to that? The Tenno, the Grineer, the Corpus. Right, there we go. We've set up the Nama finally. Instead, they crush him for no reason.
My hope is that with the coming months, within 2022, we're going to see more of an established base for the Nama. We're going to see the thing that you showed us. That's that screenshot of the Metal Gear Sentient,
Metal Sentient, yeah.
Yeah, like Tobiah, myself, and Nasuth never got to see because we didn't do
Jupiter.
No, I did Jupiter. I just didn't notice it.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
I also did Jupiter, but I didn't get that tile set.
Okay, well, I didn't do Jupiter, so I have a legitimate excuse. So, but yeah, I mean,
excuse RNG.
Anyway, so I really want to. I want to see where they're going to go with this. I want to see the expansion to Nama. I think we are going to start seeing more representation for Nama. I hope it's not going to take them too long. Give us a boss every few months over the course of 2022. And then, we got a brand new set of bosses. Because they did hint during the press event that we're going to see a different way of bosses. Do you remember that, Loz?
Yeah, some of the bosses would have to change.
Yeah.
Well, you 3 may have, but I didn't.
What? Naz didn't see anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
I only saw from their videos.
Yeah.
But it was about something about one of the bosses having to change, or some of the bosses having to change.
Yeah, something like that. They highlighted this thing that bosses were going to be different.
I would like actual sentient bosses.
Yeah. Like it's. So
Rhopodopolist is sort of a sentient boss.
The Rhopodopolist does not count as a boss.
Yeah, it's still an Eidolon.
Why is it an Eidolon?
because they
Sure, I
listed
mean-
as an Eidolon, don't they?
But aren't
I have no
Eidolons supposed to be
problem
damaged?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought
Eidolons are like ghosts.
It is the problem with the Ropopolo list is
Ropodobalist.
doesn't have any real
Substance.
substance because the entire mission is about Alid and Nata.
Yeah.
And then it suddenly goes to, oh, and now you fight the Ropodopolist.
Where were the amalgams at? Why wasn't amalgams part of this Ballas's grand plan and everything?
Because Alid, they were Alid's creations, not Ballas's creations.
No,
Yeah, but they were
they're-
made for the
no.
Lotus.
Yeah, they're
Sorry, for
Natars.
Nata.
They were Natars.
Well, the Nata and Alid.
Yeah,
Sure.
but I don't want to say that Alid's because Natar tricked him with a mimic. You know, he thought he was actually getting into bed with another corpus, but it turned out that corpus was actually a mimic.
So sad when that happens. You just, you meet someone, you decide, have this thing, and they just turn out to be a mimic,
And you just get catfished.
Yeah. Bloody mimics.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
So, finishing that line of thinking, I think the problem with anything with Alid at this point is that we don't know if Alid's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
was he on that ship with
He was
Viso?
not on that ship.
No, but he could have been on the fleet.
No. Come off it, he was on the fleet. Right, do you really think any of the Corpus Board of Executives were going to be near that battle?
No, but the whole point is he's not on the board anymore because he's disgraced.
Fine. Do you think he's going to be anywhere near that battle?
Look.
Yes,
what?
because he's a self-righteous, self-absorbed arsehole who thinks he's going to survive everything. Because he already has.
Look, when they first released Alid V, they said that, okay, the reason why they put it in the game is because we need a character like Captain Vor. He's our Grenier character. This is our Corpus character. So clearly what we're going to end up with is corrupted Alid V.
Oh my god! Please.
Because he's done everything
please.
else and yet not been corrupted.
We need
I will
to
take
finally
that.
finish something with Vor because nothing with Vor is finished.
I know.
He's still out there.
Giving his monologue.
Is the Unum gonna go reabsorb him and bring him onto Cetus so that we can shoot him in the face
The Tenno used
and
the keys.
toss him into the sun? We should get Vayhek to do that. Oh, wait,
Toss your
Elawar
precious
doesn't exist anymore.
Vor into the sun. Sorry.
Elawar doesn't exist anymore, so that line doesn't exist.
So the Unum Tower, right? Sorry, I was massively disappointed.
I felt
Yeah.
that it was kind of, that was going to be part of the ongoing content because the way the tile's set up, it's not just a to B. There's loads of little bits. I couldn't find the last, on my first batch of Find the Things, I was looking all over the place, and there's loads of hidey holes, loads of extra sections on those tiles, which aren't needed, so it did feel like those tiles were designed to be
You're
more
rescuing
than what we saw.
the people, the Ostrons.
Yeah, when rescuing Ostrons on those tiles. I couldn't find one of them, but then I found loads of side bits, hidden bits, down bits, up bits. Those tiles can do so much more than they showed. It does not feel like that was just like a one-off thing. Here's just this tile for this one event. It was quite over-designed if that was the case.
Not
We
just...
were in a very... The problem is we're also in a very specific section of the Unum that we've never been to on other towers. In most towers, we're actually towards the bottom. On this, we were towards the top.
Are the towers in the void anything like the Unum, though?
Yeah, that's the whole point, is that the Unum is a void tower. Or it's an Oracle tower.
No. It's an Oracle tower. The same. It's more like what you would see on Lua.
The void towers are Oracle towers.
Mm.
Okay, let's not fall into weird semantics here. Okay, so fine. So the theory is that the Unum is like the void tower, right? Fair enough. It did feel underwhelming. I loved what happened at the end when you're on top of it, but where it pauses time for you so you can chase after the Lotus on the Murex. And again, I love the part where, I don't know if you guys tried this, but when it paused time, I actually tried to kill Sentience, but they were invulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I was just like, oh, time got stopped. And also, like, again, when you're in the Murex, the Lotus tricks you, and sorry, Natar tricks you and throws you out of the Murex, and you're just adrift in space. You're like, well,
Yeah, that was really good.
Fuck.
There were some really cool moments. There's also, I just want to say on cool moments, there's the shot, I think, in the final fight when your warframe is behind your operator and your operator jumps back into the warframe.
Yes.
I love that shot.
Yeah.
So, which shot is this?
It's in somewhere in the final fight. You're seeing Lotus and Ballast do something, and then it lines up. The camera's sort of to the front, and you see your operator. And your operator jumps backwards, and then goes into the warframe.
I loved the bit where we were chasing Lotus. Sorry, whatever she was, Nata. And she goes into the gate, and then but we're in our child form, and really quick, like it starts sucking the warframe in, and we really quickly have to go back inside of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So this is when you get jumped in space. Yeah.
We hold ourselves, and then
okay. So the part that I cried the most.
Oh yeah, where are these two bits you cried at, man?
Right. Okay. You get to mock me for this. So the first part I cried at. Well, yeah, you know, right, you know. Anyway, so the part where Ballast stabs Natar, casts her into the void, you grab her hand with your warframe, and then as she slips free, your operator then grabs both the hand of the warframe and the hand of the Lotus. I don't know. I just weep like a baby. I was like, giant.
It was even cooler than that, actually. The warframe grabs your operator's hand.
Does the warframe actually do it? I thought it was like you.
The warframe's hand is around the operator's either wrist or hand.
Right. That was one, and then I don't know why. I struggled so hard when it came to deciding the choice of like the reverse second dream where your operator / drifter takes Natar to her own seat. Like I don't know why. I just like, you know, it's just like, Mummy Dearest is back.
Oh, okay. I just want to reiterate my points from those two experiences. The first one, I was like, yes, let her die, let go, no, let her go, come on. And then my other point of when putting the chair is, I was just thinking, I'm going to put you in this chair, and you're never going to get out of this freaking chair ever again. Right? Freaking went through all that for you. You freaking sit in this chair, and then you're gonna sit there and be my plot talky point person again, and that's it. Those are my two feelings. So I did not get tearful.
Question to all of you: did you know that that's what the Lotus's throne room looked like before this and before the capture scene?
Well, yeah, because I played Apostasy Prologue.
Yeah, it's an Apostasy Prologue.
It's not where it takes place in Apostasy.
It's not the same room.
Is it?
Yeah.
No.
Room.
Yes. It is.
The only other place that I know of this showing up is actually in the comics. Because it's the Lotus's throne room from the comics.
Yeah. So like, you got to think. There's a ramp to where her pod thing is. There's like a giant.
Sorry, just to see. Can I just put? Can you just see on screen? You see the thing I put on screen? Yeah. Yeah. Oh no! Where's it gone?
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, okay, so if I just push play this shot. This bit.
Is this are we going into the back thing?
Yeah. That shot was so cool.
Right, okay. So he was just showing us the operator jumping backwards into the
No, come on, man. It's like you can't see this warframe and the operator just goes, whoa.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
Wait, how did yours look like the Grenier?
Drifter.
Because you can customize it. Yeah. Sorry, no, you can customize it. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot you. I didn't look at it. Tobiah, you gone really quiet. Smack it. Nate. Smack it. No.
Make it her.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing.
Good.
Bop it.
Okay.
Twist it.
See, everybody, you just gotta smack your microphone when it acts bad. Percussive maintenance best.
Off it. Lock it. Flip it.
Emergency repair procedure number 1. You kicked it.
Percussive maintenance, everyone. That's what it's called.
Anyway,
If an IT person tells you to perform percussive maintenance, that's what they're talking about. You hit it.
I'm making is it Return to the Forbidden Planet joke?
Finbidden?
Forbidden.
In the Fitbit planet.
Yeah, the Fitbit planet. Anyway, right. What were you saying before your microphone crapped out and
I don't
it lost all
remember.
meaning? You lost all meaning. There we go.
What were we talking about before that?
So we were talking about the throne room with the Lotus.
Oh yeah, you said it was a
Loz-
different room. Yes, and you said it was in the comic.
Yeah.
It was from the comic or something.
Yep.
Yes. So I can let me grab a screenshot.
I'm actually
from the
replaying it
comic.
right now.
Yeah, so that's so apparently Loz has now gone and used a nail gun to keep Lotus in that chair.
Yeah, she's not getting out again. That all years of problems have been isolated by something like we're gonna lock her in that room and no one is going in that room ever again. Here's your helmet, put your helmet back on, and there you go.
Okay. Out of interest, all three of you, who did you choose as the final the final Lotus, the final Netar, final whatever?
Well,
Lotus.
I've always chosen light options on that account, so I chose Nata.
Right, Loz?
I always choose dark options. I don't know what they mean anymore, but I was like, you know what, I'm sticking to this. I'm going for a theme, and to be honest, I looked through it and I went for Margulis as well. Especially that, from what I can tell, the light option is now like the decisive must act on action option. So I'm like, right, well, I'm not picking that. So yeah, Margulis is my choice.
And I went for Margulis as well, mostly because Natar and Lotus have had a go at the narrative. I thought Margulis would be cool, and it was kind of slapdashed because none of the lines have changed at all for her, and it sounds weird. That
I love that
Margulis
people
is
try and
saying-
justify these choices. Like, oh, well, if you... What was that I saw on a stream? If you pick Margulis, that's like you haven't moved forward with your life or something. And it's like, oh, it has to be Natar, and because Natar was the one who didn't have options. And, oh, if she could pick, she has to be Natar because that's who she actually is.
Natar didn't have options.
Yeah, it's like all these don't make sense because they're all three characters. I can literally draw a thing for any of the three entities, why they had choices or didn't have choices, why that they had a past or didn't have a past, and why they should be the future or not be the future. They're literally three woven into mixed characters where they're all unique and things. So it doesn't really matter which you pick. Just pick what you want.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
Also, because we're assuming everyone has finished all of them here, I will admit fully that I chose Lotus, but I used the Margulis announcer.
Fair.
Oh yeah, I used the Eidolon
I bought all of
picture,
them.
yeah.
I'll probably swap around randomly for fun.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a question
I
though.
bought all of them as well.
Has anyone recolored it or just left it default?
I
left the
recolored it.
default. I'll recolor it eventually, but right now I'm enjoying the default.
I'll play around with it some, but I don't see a reason to recolor it. What does it feel like? What does it feel like recolored?
So with Margulis, you can't recolor the main body of the purple. It's more like the out, like the sleeves, the trimmings, like the shoulder pads and things like that. It's not the main dress. The main dress remains purple.
I mean, obviously, I think it's great when Warframe gives you more customization options because it is literally, I have not seen a game which comes even a speck on what Warframe does for, hey, you want to customize stuff? We customize stuff. So that's great. I do like people giving the option. But the only 2 times of the year I'm going to bother customizing it is Christmas and Halloween. And that's the only 2 times. So I can have a themed. I better have the option not to have the Halloween one. Or I can have a Halloween. I suppose that's just
Vampire Lotus.
I am calling it now. There's going to be a Vampire Lotus
option.
Okay,
yeah.
Customization option after this.
Okay. You guys may hate me for this. I want the ability to deploy Robo Ordis.
Yeah, I want Robo Ordis.
Right, as like a drone. There you go. That'll be the only one I'd ever have. I'd love to have Robo Ordis.
Sorry, just want to clarify that. You mean as a cosmetic in your Lisette?
Yeah.
Yeah. You said deploy,
okay, yeah.
And deploy would mean like the drones you deploy to planets?
Fair.
Or
but yeah,
as like a Spectre.
Yes, yeah, that could.
Which I also wouldn't mind. That would be interesting to have in a movie.
Yeah, I want a Sentinel skin, but I would be happy with that.
I'd also like. Oh yeah, your idea was ingenious. Sentinel skin, Ordis, right? But comes with Ordis dialogue.
Yes. Oh, so you have
Yes.
random bits when he kills people.
yeah.
Ordis starts spamming random things. I'd be like, yes,
100%.
Ordis over my shoulder killing things. Bring it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this costs 1,000 plat. Done.
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 Done. Take
Done.
here's my. This costs 50 quid.
Sorry.
Here's 50 quid.
Sorry, what's that? You don't have one of these? There you go, have one. Oh, what's that? You don't have one? There you go.
I mean, it would be a combination of what they wanted to do with the peculiar mod. They wanted to do that sort of thing with the peculiar mod. Give me a premium Ordis Sentinel skin with him randomly saying quotes every let's say 5th enemy he kills, just screaming random things. Yes, done. I'll give you all the money.
I'd also like the option to customize Ordis back into his holographic cube form as well.
Yes, please.
The transmission windows.
We're kind of missing that now. Is we don't
they
don't explain why he transitioned either.
No.
I want cube Ordis for my transmissions and regular Ordis or robot Ordis floating around my ship.
Yeah.
That's the interesting thing. It would actually be more interesting to have Ordis as the sentinel that's attacking you in the second dream now then it would make far more sense for that than whatever sentinel you had attached, which could be none, and they pick a random one.
Right.
I mean, unless we built this for him at some point. So
We don't know.
I'm gonna call it now. How long do you reckon it'll be before there's a Reddit or forum post asking for the old, completely snowed over Orb Valis back?
I think there already is.
Probably,
there's
yeah.
Gotta be. There was probably some the moment the first person finished the quest.
Yeah, I think I already saw one for the planes. People asking about.
I know people are writing that they can't get into Fortuna 69 now.
What? Oh,
well, we will be able to soon. Okay.
It's because it's technically like 2 different instances now.
We will be able to soon.
My God.
This is one of the there is, however, a Strata 69 already.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
for those of you watching this later, Strata was where on PC the Barrow came this weekend.
Yeah. Unless there's any other points.
Yeah.
I really liked all the new stuff they did to the ships. Like there was a lot of really big, awesome set pieces in the quest. Yeah, just visually stunning in all regards. Or like, well, like the things they did to the planes during calls, section, and the things they did to the Corpus ship, and the fact that we could see the battle going on outside. And the approach to the sun, and even some of the changes to the tile sets, like the Uranus tile set when you're going through it. And there are some different tiles that weren't in there before.
Where are you on Uranus?
When you're going to meet Hunhow.
There were different tiles?
Yeah, there were a couple of different tiles.
The underwater tile set.
No, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember seeing. There was the landing pad. That was the only tile that that was distinctly different.
I know for sure there was one of the internal tiles that was different.
I remember the little bit where you walk up to the bit where I know it is, but
no. I can try and get a picture of it, but it'll
You're not talking about like the random like obelisks and shit that's scattered around.
Nope.
Okay.
I thought most of it looked pretty similar, but I'd be interested in seeing what you're thinking.
Yeah.
As well.
I think I found the right section. Let's see if I can find the tile itself.
Loz, I think you wanted to talk about more stuff.
Yeah, I got 2 major sections I haven't even touched on yet, so we are nowhere near finished. Okay, let's get the first one out of the way, because I know, these are both going to be complaints, and I do want to premise this, because obviously, just one thing, it is so much easier to come up with criticisms of something than positives. I liked the quest, I gave it a 9 out of 10 for its individual, and I still gave it a 6 out of 10, which is still a good score for its multiplayer thing, so I'm not going to say it, but I'm just, that's why I try and, what is it they try and teach us to do? It's like 3 positives for every criticism. It's like, no, you can't do it. I've given them some positives, I love the quest, but it's easy to nitpick. These are constructive criticisms, but these ones are kind of a bit mean now. Okay, so first one, the sentients have been a completely wasted entity in Warframe completely now. Their expenditure is complete. It's just going to be to resurrect them up to the status they had. It's just going to be a complete cop out and weird things, and they'd have to go back and bring Mother back or something, right? but which is, I don't know, just where Ballast wants to go, and he seemed to be fine going there. So if he's going there by himself versus the sentient mother, and with armies of sentients, I can't believe he'd do that. So the sentients got just taken over by Era, taken over by Ballast. They just got converted, and they just became nothing. They just went from this super scary enemy, the thing that brought the Orokin to their knees, this ultimate robot gone wrong, weird AI that was something completely alien that had evolved and changed on its own out in the far reaches of space and was now coming back to kill us for who knows what reason. We didn't even know in the old war why they wanted to kill us. And they were supposed to be an unstoppable force, and we finally got to see them in Tomb of the Sentients with the trailer, which, you know, I memed and joked things. You got all those amazing things, those sentients coming down. You're like, oh my god, this is how we're going to beat this. It looks amazing. This new enemy. So, and I loved the art direction of them at the time, because they weren't just another humanoid. They were something that was like the twisted and malformed, that like clearly something or an entity which had its origins from something that we had made, so it knew what a humanoid humanoid was, but was trying to twist itself away. It didn't. They looked like they were trying to become something different, and they were just like a perversion of normal beings, of normal humans. That's what when I first saw them, that's what inspired me. And we saw them. It's like the Tomb of the Sentients, and they were just coming down, unstoppable, wave after wave, and that was just what was trapped in a tomb. Oh my god, who knows? Oh my god, they're in Tau. There's unlimited numbers of them, and we saw this stuff with Mother and the army in Tau, and that's the game I wanted to play. But sadly, due to eternalism, we've slipped into a different timeline where all that was taken away from us, and instead they sort of, oh, they're coming, oh no, they're here, oh, there's a handful of them, and they're just no entities, no names, no nothing, no serious threat. You fight one or two on Lua, then you do this quest, and what? We never fought Hun Hao properly. Hun Hao is now chilling, as I say, in his mother's basement with his drinking buddy, who is now his best friend, who's just there to help us out. Doesn't even want to kill us. Gives us his free stuff because it's just what?
Who somehow lost his super armor.
Yeah, well, I remember Xeno saying about that, and I assume what you could say is it's tied to war, and with war broken, all the accompaniments fell off.
No, you gotta backtrack on that, because remember, we get hunted down by Shadow Stalker. No, that doesn't add up. True.
Yeah, it just, again, an oversight. I would have loved it if he had the full accompaniment, or even more, or even give him like bits of it, and it's all broken because Hun Hao's weakening, he's weakening. Instead, Stalker just felt like, oh hi boss, what are we gonna do today, brain? Oh, we're gonna help the Stalker, or sorry, we're gonna help the Wanderer. Oh, okay, brain, if that's what you say.
Drifter.
The Drifter. Sorry. Interesting if we still had normal Stalker every so often, that gave us just the Tenno-fied weapons, so Dread, Despair, and Hate. But then with Shadow Stalker, we got Natarak, or something related to Natarak. Whatever.
You mean Nataruk?
Nataruk, yeah. And War and something else for a secondary. That would be interesting for the future. But it's not going to happen because we got it.
Yeah, but again, Nataruk, another thing which really should have looked like War, and it should have been the War armor Hun Hao version of the bow instead, because everything's an orange. I've forgotten the name of the new faction already. What is it again?
Nama.
Because everything in Nama is orange. This bow is now orange for some reason, and doesn't look like at all like the other things that Hun Hao has. Just felt, come on.
There was a bunch of orange in the other sentient stuff.
But it didn't tie in with War and other stuff. It really felt like that was Hun Hao's aesthetic, and it really would have been better if it tied in with that. Well, right, but that's
because War is part of Hun Hao. Nataruk is made out of a different sentient.
Dead. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Fair enough. We also got the sentience.
Yeah.
I know we're going back to saying about the Archons, but No, he is right. It is made from bits of dead sentience.
Forged from sentient remains by Hun Hao.
Yeah. I don't remember many bright orange sentients, but fair enough. I think they literally made it orange because everything in this patch was orange. But like the hacking minigame, which better come back. That's a positive point.
Can we just say it's amazing?
Yes. So I want more of that hacking game. I want more hacking games in general. That one was just so good. It's like, oh yes, it felt so good. Anyway, what was the thing? Oh, back to Stalker. What was I gonna say? Where am I on? So sentient, so Hun Hao, Stalker, sitting down there. There was a point I was going to make.
Doctor's drinking buddy.
Yeah, drinking buddy, not doing anything. We're talking about the bow. Damn it, I had a massive point to make. Yeah, no, the stupid bow. What was I going to talk about? This is my.
Do you want to think about it? And I'm going to go back to your sentience comment.
You go on sentience. I'm probably not going to remember it. Go back to sentience, yeah.
So I feel you raised the comment about how sentience that they've been advertised as this big looming threat. They've been advertised for the longest time as effectively the Borg of the Warframe solar
The
system,
looming
universe,
threat.
whatever.
Yeah.
Who knew
looming-
Dallas would be the Borg instead?
The looming threat to the point of, even killing these things are just going to spawn more of them. Maybe the orcs from 40k, but regardless, right? These things are going to be utter fucking nightmares. But the problem is that the player base has not wanted to accommodate such a impending threat that you'd actually have to the sentients have been neutered, that their status immunity has been removed.
Yeah, even in a gameplay sense, they were completely cut away. Yeah.
So it's just like they have been neutered, and I don't know if you're aware of this, that they gave us this new cosmetic evolving armor that is supposed to change with the more sentience you kill. I don't know if it's on a permanent basis or if it's during like the
Actually, it's with other challenges than that. Like one of them is get 75 Aya or 75 relics.
right. Okay, so you got this evolving armor, but the thing is, the sentience. Like, where the fuck do you find the sentience now?
Lure, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, they're still in the same places. That's one of the other complaints that I had, was that nothing in the system has really changed. Everything's essentially back to, other than cosmetically, it's essentially back to normal.
So I feel that the sentient, like realistically, I feel that instead of putting them on bounties, they should have utilized the invasion system.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I agree.
Where effectively Nama moves from planet to planet. They can't hold a single planet because there aren't enough of Nama left. Right? Sorry, they can't hold more than a single planet. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. They can hold one planet, and then all of the nodes, it's just Nama enemies. Maybe you could have crossfire events where it's the Corpus versus the Grineer Nama, or it's the Grineer versus the Corpus Nama. You get the idea.
Or the Grineer versus the Grineer armor.
Or just
no, because there aren't any tiles that already exist with. I'm talking about the existing crossfire events.
Yeah, but a crossfire event is just two factions fighting each other. I'm pretty sure they could easily just code Nama versus Grineer. And Grineer Nama.
Right, but they have to be in conjunction with a node being taken over. Which I think what Drew's saying is that there's no...
Oh, that is the most bare-bones way of doing it. So you're saying that when Nama take a node, you're basically saying a Corpus node is technically becoming Grineer, but it's Nama Grineer.
Well, that's already been in the game.
Yeah, that already exists in the game.
Yeah, it already exists in the game, yeah, and you're just using it by just swapping out them. I'm pretty sure they could make Nama a proper faction and let them hold nodes. I'm pretty sure that wouldn't be that much more effort.
Well, that's what I think it would be interesting if you could have any of them hold it, so
Yeah.
they could get held by infested Corpus, Grineer, or Narmer.
Or corrupted.
Narma Dark sectors.
But the problem is that they removed that functionality entirely. So no longer can a single faction hold a node.
Yeah.
Right,
No.
Can't transition.
The base node is fixed, and that the invasion is just a sub thing for the node.
Yes, it doesn't transition from in ownership. They removed it years ago.
So they still have it in the world state.
Right.
But when nodes are taken over.
But it's new events have started, and it's anyone new joining that, not anyone currently on that tile.
I'm not
sure I don't remember seeing like the Corpus taking over Saturn or anything. I'm pretty sure
they don't take over the whole planet. They take over a node on the planet.
Oh yeah, so yeah, if they win, if they hold if like I see what you're saying now. Sorry, I wasn't quite paying attention. So if the Corpus invades Saturn, and they are the victors in that conflict, they hold the node.
Do they?
For like a day.
Really?
Oh, right. Okay. So
it's until that one has another conflict on it, which is
No. It's for like a day. It's for some set amount of time.
Well,
it should be until the next one.
we don't know. Let's not get bogged down because we'd have to test and experience this, and that would take days. So yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I really feel that that's how Nama should work.
Yeah,
it
this
should
day,
be like that. They
it
just,
should have been invasion.
Yeah, it should be an invasion. Maybe at some point in the future we could get another moon of, I don't know, Titan or Jupiter. Another moon of Jupiter comes off, and then like, oh yeah, Nama have actually taken dominion of that moon. That is their moon. Much like how Eris is 100% always infested, this moon of Jupiter is 100% controlled by Nama.
Yeah. Oh, Mike, percussive.
I think always having one getting fluxed would.
No, you cut out entirely now.
Honestly, it was the only thing it missed.
Yeah.
I think having one.
Nope, gone. you shouldn't move it, dude.
Hey,
it's closer. Okay, you hear me now?
Yes.
Am I cutting out now?
No.
Not the
okay, I'm sorry about that, everybody. So like how the Kuva missions move, I would rather something like that where it kind of fluxes between nearby planets, but instead of moving with a ship, like instead of having a Murex there, just invading the planet from planet to planet. Yeah.
Why not have a Murex there, though?
I mean, they could have a Murex there and have the.
Make it like a sentient anomaly so that anyone with a railjack can go up into it and.
But if that was the case, I would seriously prefer to see like, okay, you have to make more sentients now. You have to like, let's create a dozen more variations of the sentients and actually have them as the enemy faction of those nodes.
Expand on the sentient tile set.
Huh?
But not permanent, is what I'm saying.
Not permanent.
No. Because to me,
like
right,
changing where they are.
So obviously that's thinking on, but my point is, I can't remember what I was going to say about sentience, right? To me, Nasuth and Tobiah, have you watched Game of Thrones?
Not only up until like season 2 or 3. Yeah.
You've not seen season 8.
I refuse to watch the last season. What's the last season?
It was awful, yeah. Right, but so it's obviously not spoiled because it's been out for years now. But you know the White Walkers who like set up in like one of the first shots of episode 1.
Yes.
They finally attack in like the 3rd episode of season 8, and they're dealt with by the end of that episode. To me, the sentients are the same thing. They are the enemy that never was. They are now a load of bones around everywhere, around every planet and around all of our open worlds. You can see these corpses. The thing is, that's how they were to us before. Everyone was digging up these dead sentients out of the ground, yeah? And now we've just added more dead sentients on the ground. It's almost like Blink, and they've gone from the same to the same. They're the enemy that never was.
Hunhao, though, was a legitimate enemy.
Until he just started drinking.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
And now he's dying, so.
For the longest time, I genuinely thought Hunhao died when you broke the new war.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't heard. Sorry, war. Yeah, sorry. My bad. When we broke war, because I genuinely we hadn't heard from him for literal.
It was in the Suda quest.
Sorry,
it was in the Suda quest.
In the Suda quest, yeah. I thought that was like him dying completely because that was like the essence of him dying or something. Because he just gave up after that. He just became a non-entity. I don't think they forgot about him, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll just have him sitting around being like, oh, he's almost nice."
Yeah,
he turns out he's quite a nice, friendly chap. This is
that was another thing that really bothered me was how little they got him and Stalker, and how little there was no resolution to their storyline. Really,
no, I don't mind that.
I don't think there's going to be because Stalker is the oldest enemy in the game.
No, regardless of that, right? This wasn't the story of Hunhao and Stalker. This was the story of beating up Ballas, right?
Yeah.
And okay, we could have had some more tie-off with Stalker and Hunhao. the fact that they were even in the fucking quest was good enough for me.
No. I'm sorry. Their characters, like so many of the characters, are just. But there's clearly like there was a main right. We want to finish this arc, and this is the point we want to get to at the end of this thing. And they butchered Ballast, they butchered Error, they butchered the Sentience, they butchered Hanhao, just to get to this point. I'm sorry. I'm just going to read this out to you. I just want to read the quotes from the start of Second Dream. That Hanhao. This is a completely different Hanhao we have now, right? Okay. Who destroyed the Orokin? Your way of life. Who do you hunt, Shadow, to cleanse your despair in their blood? Sever their heads, yet they rise again. Someone has hidden the Tenno essence, the truth from you. I know where she hides the Tenno, a womb in the sky, forbidden to my kind, where you will take me. I am Hanhao, sentient destroyer of worlds. By your hand, expose their heart. By my edge, cleave it beating from its nest. That was Hanhao. Now he is literally...
No, we just say it.
Hey, don't turn away from me, Mr. Man. I'll give you a bow. I'll help you out. Here's my drinking buddy.
My daughter. I want her.
Get my daughter. I gotta look after my daughter. She all sad and stuff.
Here's a question for you. Would you rather him not be in the quest at all?
Yes.
Or the quest be about him and Stalker instead?
Not in the quest at all.
Not in the quest at all.
I'm happy with him being in the quest.
His character was butchered. Seriously, watching that Second Dream, cleave it beating from its nest. You felt that was what the sentience was supposed to be.
That
this
still
alien
gives me shivers.
hate.
Yeah,
exactly. It gave me shivers. It was beautiful. You felt
but
the
fact that we
intense
had
hatred.
dialogue. We actually had dialogue between him and Error.
Oh yeah, and it was like again, it just reinforced Error as a whiny child with Dad going like, "Oh come on, son, stop being mean, son. Stop bullying your sister."
The problem is that ultimately Hanhao wanted that because he was already being manipulated by Ballast, even at that point.
When was Hanhao?
Which is something we don't.
What?
Yes.
When?
Because that's how the whole that's how he got information, because Hanhao didn't spontaneously get information.
Right.
So how did Hanhao find out where the Tenno were hiding?
Oh yeah, he. I think Tobiah's right. This is the old storyline where Ballast.
Sacrifice.
Yes, it's a sacrifice. Yeah, where Ballast was like collaborating with Hanhao in the old war to destroy the Orokin, and so he gave information. That's fine. Yeah, but he wasn't. But Hanhao wasn't being tricked by Ballast. All that information was valid.
Yeah, that was agreed upon.
No, I understand that. But
Hanhao was giving this. This is the part of the problem where the narrative has been retconned, because the idea was Lotus has been she's been kidnapped. Sorry, not Natara's been kidnapped. She's been forced against her will to do this thing. But the whole point of the sacrifice is that Hanhao and Ballast had an arrangement where Natara was going to it was always planned that Natara was going to pretend to be Margulis.
Yeah.
Right, but part of that pretending was destroying us.
Yeah.
Right.
And because she didn't destroy us, because she was reshaped partially by Ballast and twisted by the love that he wanted from her, but she wouldn't show him. Ballast ends up being ultimately the manipulator that Hanhao wants, is really the target of Hanhao's ire, because he's like, honestly, I could just wipe out the Tenno anytime I want, because he could. He could have at one point.
He couldn't reach them in the moon.
Right, but after that, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, right.
After that, we were very frequently getting attacked. And instead of us being the real enemy, it's Ballast, because Ballast is the manipulator who took his daughter away from him.
I disagree with that.
Okay.
No, I can kind of get because obviously this is I didn't want to bring this as an issue, but I like exactly understanding the whole timeline of Lotus's storyline and thoughts in each moment, or Lotus / Natara / Margulis. It is still a bit murky for so Hanhao gave Natar to Ballas to help with
it's
the thing, and then Ballas was like, okay, but I'll reshape her so that we can control the Tenno sort of thing at some point, and then we're going to betray the Tenno after killing the. It's a bit murky. I don't want to go into those
but then
depths.
it becomes a case of like she never had a choice in this. And,
yeah, there's some of that element to it, and I my personal feeling is that there was some element. The reason why she wanted the children is because obviously sentients do this whole procreation thing, or they can make more. So I think it was like that protocol in her mind, but then she lost it when she traveled to the void. So there's like that being then meshed onto Margulis's mind, and then that made the whole thing of I want the Tenno to be my children because I can't make more sentience, and that whole thing. But anyway, it still butchers Hunhow as a character, right? Butchers the sentience as a character. There's all their characters. He's drinking it. He's just cleave it, beaten from it.
Now he no longer exists after drinking in.
Oh, he's dying. No, he said he's dying. He said the only thing he can't.
No, he said he wants to die,
but he can't until Lotus
wants
is
to die.
And he's dying because Natai is dying as well.
No, I think he's dying, but he can't die because his protocol is to save her. He can't. That's the last thing that's keeping him here. Was my understanding of it.
I think that was more. I live in hope that I can save her. That's the last hope I have to cling on to. And if she dies, then everything I have dies. That was my impression anyway. But it's still kind of like, oh, everything sucks. Nobody loves me. I can't do anything to stop these people.
I also am not a super fan of how they moved the Sentient Destroyer of Worlds thing from Hunhow to Pergasa.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I know there's something that I really enjoyed, and I can't think of it now for some reason.
Right, I remember the one thing I wanted to, the last bit of sentience I wanted to bring up was just, I know we did at the start, what were they called? The Archons, right? Now, I like the Archons, they were really cool fights, but again, it was another case where they were kind of introduced and like you had to catch up. Can someone explain to me why they had crystals and that was the only thing that could heal Lotus?
They were perversions by era of sentience and warframes.
Yeah, but why the crystal?
Why were they the only
two crystals? That was the sentience.
Was that their sentient core?
Yeah.
That
was like their crystallized oro.
But what was there no other source of this crystallized ore? It just seemed a bit weird that it was just
I
very. I know it's a video game, but it was
transportable version. I think it was the most transportable version because all the other versions of Oro are like what we saw with Teshin when he reaches into one of the sentients and just shatters it with his hand. They're like, a firm grip will shatter this Oro normally, but instead this is like pure energy for sentience.
But
that is also transportable.
Yeah, but none of that was explained, so I did feel it was just a bit like, oh yeah, these cool 3 new enemies, you have to go fight them. I know it's a video game, but it's like you have to kind of veil your video game so it doesn't feel like a video game. Instead, it's like go beat the 3 sub bosses in the 3 temples. I was like, okay. And the other thing with the Archons, why I felt was a missed treat, is I would love to have seen them actually do something. Why were these things a threat? Because Nora was like celebrating you're killing them every time. It would have been so cool if one of the fights that you had with the Archons, you kind of walked in and see a cinematic where it's just like butchering people or something, or you saw just some cinematic or something to explain what these things did and why they were even a threat to normal people in some way, because it just felt like they're just the mini bosses.
So can you elaborate on what more you would have preferred to see when you first encounter the Snake Archon as it is destroying shit behind you and you're running away?
I would have. I know it was kind of cool as it reveals and jumps and you look down, but I would much prefer that whole thing where you see it being introduced, where there's like the guy and I can't remember what they're called. It was almost like a religious ceremony where there was several people and you were given the option, take the veil or not. And if you didn't take the veil, that like the snake just swallowed them whole.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to see these things be villainous threats to normal people. I wanted to understand instead of just.
The problem is you would have wiped out too much of the population of the galaxy if you did that. And
I know, but you'd only take seriously if you had like 5 people there and the first one's like take the veil and he says no and then the snake eats them. Guess what? The other 4 people are probably gonna be like, yeah, screw it. And make it really vicious. Come on, we got a thing in game where you saw the snake grabs it and thrashes them around the room and before swallowing them whole, and you saw it like sliding down the neck into the warframe, being like, "Where the hell's that body gone?" It's like, "Oh my god, that's it. I'll get wiped out if I get eaten."
I don't want to hang on this too long, because this was concept stuff from last TennoCon, but they actually showed the Snake Archon as concept art.
Yeah.
They said that it was going to be the only one, but they had 3, and the Snake one was supposed to have satellite drones that would attack you. It
Really?
would spawn these satellite drones that you would also have to fight, but those
It spawned
drones never
sentience
made
for
it.
us. Well, it did spawn sentience, just not drones.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be off the back of its tail kind of thing. You saw the slots there, but they were all empty. They never brought in the enemy that was supposed to be floating skulls.
I don't remember that at all, honestly.
Yeah. So I to be fair, the fact that we got more than one, I was happy with.
But I wanted to know what was the purpose of them. They needed more. They were just like, here's some cool bad guys that are based on animals. Fight the mini bosses. Give me more.
Well, they were supposed to be Era's children, but why did Era create them at all?
Era doesn't seem to complain when you kill them. He doesn't say like, "No, my beautiful creations. Why have you done this?"
I think the problem is you can always continue to expand upon it. Like,
Well, they don't. That's the thing. All these things are they're oceans, and they could be oceans thing, but they're just an inch deep. There's so much potential there.
But like, how much further are you prepared to go? Like, how much more?
A couple of audio lines is all I want.
Which one? You want more audio lines? It's like,
more audio lines that allude
budget.
to meanings of things. Like, if literally, I like that. I didn't realize that. It's a good way of looking at it. That these are Era's children. This is his version. Natar had the Tenno. He has these, and it would have been beautiful to see his character just go inflamed with rage when you kill any of them. That would have been amazing. It would have shown more character depth. It would have shown why these exist. These are. He saw Nata had the Tenno, and he wanted some of that, so he made these, which are the amalgamation of two things, and obviously that explains the reason behind them. Instead of him just going, you know what, today I'm just going to make some amalgamations of Warframe and Tenno. Why? Because it seems cool. I like snakes. I like wolves, and I like owls. So I'm gonna make my own owl, snake, and wolf people.
I think the understanding of how the Warframes and the sentience were stapled together with crystals is not accurate. My understanding was that these 3 crystals were part of Natar's essence.
I thought it was because they had it's what gave them the ability to resurrect other creatures, because that's how Hanao made it seem, and that's why you needed them to restore Lotus, because either you could take her to them, which, let's face it, not a good idea, or you could rip the things out of them and bring them back to Lotus.
But the weird thing is that there is the perfect number of them needed to resurrect Lotus.
Yeah, I've got it up on me thing, and this is where again the game just skips. It does this thing where it skips over it, and you have to try and catch up. The line is like, your character says she lives Hunhao, and he says she lingers. But where is it? She only lingers without her kind, not for long. And then he moves on to, we then skip like clearly a few lines of dialogue, and move on to go on. Their search for her remains has long since begun. It's like, we skipped a line there. Like, there is these narrative plot holes. It just leaps over where it's like, he says, no, she's alive and I can save her. And she's like, oh no, she only lingers. By the way, they're searching for her and you must hunt them down. What? Why? It doesn't. There are missing points for like what those crystals.
There was another one. There was another one in that scene where the Drifter says that they'll do it. They'll do the same thing to her again and again. So they're gonna kill her and bring her back, and kill her and bring her back, and kill her and bring her back.
Yeah, exactly. Again,
why?
It's leapt over. Yeah, why? Yeah.
Well, that was why I understood that the crystals were from her. They were ripping out the crystals.
But how? But if they need the crystals to restore her, what? Just so they can kill her again for the crystals?
Well, no. I don't think they're planning on making what's it called? I think they're basically like, oh, we're gonna wait for her to come back a bit. Like, we're gonna wait, like, I don't know, a few hundred years, and then we're gonna pull out a 4th crystal.
Oh, okay.
No. So the whole point is that the crystals are the Archons were made during the Old War.
When was that ever said?
At the very beginning, when they're described, is that they are old war bastardizations.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're old war things. I'm with Tobiah on that. It might be in the art panel though. I can't remember. But
Well, then that makes it even less.
That was during the quest. That was during the quest that they talked about it.
I love it.
They are sentient. They're sentient creations, each with special powers, including the ability to raise dead sentient. The thing is, when sentients were introduced to us, when the conclave was redone, the whole point of the conclave was to train us to kill or to destroy Oro, which was their ability to resurrect.
Yes, yep. That was just completely banned as well.
Reform.
Yep. That's how they were supposed to be this really deadly enemy that was going to be so unnatural, almost unliving, that we had to try and take out. And Teshin was trying to train us for that. That's out the window. They're just easy peasy. Just slap them a bit. Shoot them with a kata, they die. It's easy peasy. Yeah, I mean, this backed up by sorry. I'm seeing
that part of call was just that. I will point that out as a partial failing for me because that was just wrong.
We sent our weakest sentients to the most important place because the Temple Kuva is what we need to be able to start having kids again.
Apparently, but then that doesn't seem to do. That doesn't come up anywhere. Anyway, so the thing he says to Hun Hao, what do they want? And he says the same as you, to raise the dead. Where is it? Only they have the power to do it. You are just as complete as she is. No metal beast, no void fury. And then it just comes on to. Here we are, actually. Yeah, let me explain what you're up against, friend. These things were made by my son, Era, hybrid abominations of the old war. And it's like, right, there you're up against them. It's just like, they just raised the dead.
But saying hybrid abominations of the old war makes me feel like, yeah, you're taking the first prime warframes from the old war.
Raised from blighted battlefields where sentient and warframe fell. That's what it says. I love the concept of them, but again, it's just like, you narratively have to be like, I'm walking. Oh, I have to catch up. You know, it just annoyed me, right? But that's the last thing I want to say about sentience, because it's just like, they're wasted.
Loz, can we pause?
Okay. Yep. There we go.
Loz
we're back.
Wants to rant.
What?
Loz wants to rant.
Right, okay, I'll go to my last rant point, which is the biggest one, which really annoys me. So it all starts back, actually, when I did actually get Steve to answer this one, and I sent it to a dev stream. I can't remember where it is. I can find it if I need to. After the War Within, I sent a message, which he did answer. Rebecca read out, that the cinematic stories they entirely focus on one Tenno, and they make no allusions to other Tenno existing. You were the only one who escaped the moon. You were the only one who was chased by Stalker. You were the only one who Lotus put in the chair. You're the only one the Queen comes after. You were the only one who could resurrect Umbra. And then you were the only one who could do the whole. I'm not even going to get into all the mad amounts of point there is in the new war. However, this quest takes it a step further. Everything up to this point, you could just say like, "Oh, the other Tenno escaped the moon. You just didn't see them. They were just doing this. The Queens just chose you. You were just like the best option, so they just chose you out of everyone." But in this quest, there is only one Tenno. There must only be one Tenno, because you fall. One of the first things that happen in the quest is you fall into a void portal, whatever, disappear, and then everyone is saying the Tenno are gone, or Tenno are gone, when the Tenno are.
Yeah.
So there's no other Tenno. Unless all the Tenno are linked, and when Lotus fell into the void, they all just have a void pockets open up.
No, they are.
What, they opened up?
Because you're the only one that shakes the hand of the man in the wall.
What, so all the other Tenno in the solar system just fell into void pockets underneath their feet?
Yeah. They just cease to exist.
They cease to exist today.
Yeah, no, seriously.
I think it's more that...
No, there's more.
That they were still in Warframes, but they just didn't have a link anymore because the different interconnectivity that you granted them by making the deal with the man in the wall no longer existed.
Yeah.
So they're all just sitting dreaming.
I want to point out that
no
that is never shown or explained in any way, shape, or form in the quest, so you can't really do that. It's then completely broken by
it is in the comics.
Is it in the comics? Is it the
yes,
stuff?
Excalibur and Mag are separate Tenno.
Right.
Also, it doesn't explain realistically how the Drifter appears either.
Right. That could be something that could explain later. That's clearly like a secret thing that it's all like explaining him and mysteries with him. So understanding the Drifter is easy. I can accept that stuff. But anyway, then towards the end, you get the stuff with Ballas and Thingy, Margulis, and whatever, and they specify that child, you you poured all that energy into the child. You wanted a child. It's very singular. It clearly is
Yeah, that's
identifying
true.
there is one
Even
Tenno.
though in
Kill your child. You know,
was it Era? It was in Era that we saw that there definitely were other Tenno.
in the past, yes.
There definitely were at one point.
Yeah, and you see 2 Railjacks as well. Yeah. There is, but that's all the past. There is no evidence from in any of the quests that waking up. It doesn't even make allusions to or anything to other Warframe operators ever Tenno being awake, anyone escaping the moon, anywhere. And this quest really cements home there is one. Well, if there was other
escaping, yes, but I think that
if they were still on the moon, the sentience would kill them.
They would try.
They have the moon. The moon is theirs.
Can I give you more ammunition to take the world's biggest dump?
Go for it, man.
Right. So the sentients are coming after us. The sentients are coming after Margulis. The sentients throw us into the void portal. Yeah?
Ballast does, but yeah.
Ballast throws us, and he commands the sentients into the void portal. Are we all in agreement with this?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. No.
Sure.
Feel free. Okay. If you decide to change your mind, feel free. Why doesn't Ballast throw the heart of Deimos into the void?
Yeah. What are the Entrati doing this whole time?
What are the Infested doing? There's so many things you could do on that.
Well, we've had that problem this whole time, though, right?
What's Parvos doing?
I mean,
well, we do see statues of Parvos. Funny enough,
we know that the Heart of Deimos is supposed to be the power source for our abilities to control warframes and shoot void magic. Not transference.
Never mind that the Zeraman. Never mind that the Zeraman is still wedged halfway into the void.
Right? Yeah. Transference still works perfectly fine, right? But all our other void powers disappear, right? If we damage the heart of Deimos. I do not comprehend why they didn't go for the fucking heart.
He might not know it's there.
Bullshit.
How could he not?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to be out with Drew on this. Yeah.
I cannot believe that Ballast doesn't know that the Heart of Deimos.
The Entrati family are being described as a very insular group the whole time. They've got secrets between each other. Let alone
they're also the only innovators who went to the void.
Yeah,
he's also an executor.
Without the Heart of Deimos, there is no void particles, void crap coming into.
Okay. Well, if we're going to do this thing with Ballast, so the bit when Ballast comes and takes off Lotus's helmet.
Yeah.
Where was Lotus? Where was Ballast the whole time before that?
Oh God, tell me about it. Right.
For thousands of years, where was he hiding? In the void? That would make sense.
Right. Okay.
1 century.
Right.
1 century.
Here's a question.
I don't care if it was 100 years. I don't care if it was 1,000 years, 100 years, or 1 year.
For generations,
right?
For generations, you slept.
Okay.
Generations can technically be 4 of them is 25 years.
Right. Here's a question for you, right? When your drifter comes from the Zeraman as the sole survivor of the Zeraman, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much time has actually passed for that drifter? Right? Are we talking a linear amount of time? So, we may have been asleep for hundreds of years, right? And we wake up, but for them, it's been maybe 5.
Yeah, it could have been 5 months for him on the 10-0 by himself.
Oh, it's definitely not 5 months, right? But
yeah, you know what I mean, though. Yeah.
Or it could have been again hundreds of years because time works differently. Aging, it's just I think for our own sanity, we need to not think about this.
Yeah, but you're the one who brought up the Heart of the Void and stupidness and things, right? So Ballas still doesn't explain where Ballas was and why he took forever to do it, and it still doesn't fix the problem that this is. So I feel, I mean, people could say like, oh, it's fixed in the comics or whatever. I'm not accepting that as an answer because the game needs to show it. World of Warcraft does this all the time, and it basically has ruined the game when they started doing it onwards because characters have just motivation shifts, motivation changes. Things happen where you like people have alliances, but in a book they try and kill each other, and then after that in quests, you know, you're like, wait, we were just helping each other in the last patch. Why are you now fighting this person? And to say that this makes sense because of what it says in the comics and it actually justifies why your Tenno is the special Tenno, can we get a special
That's
name?
not what I said. I didn't say anything about why you're the special Tenno.
Oh,
I just
okay.
said that we know that there are other Tenno.
Well, okay,
Not
fine.
that we know that they are out.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that we know that they're out because I agree with you that
Yeah.
the game very clearly says we're the only ones out. We just know that the others aren't dead.
Well, yeah, I mean, I believe it's so because that's what the multiplayer aspects of the game does. But the game has now done a very before it was just a few cracks in between these two path lines. Now they are separated. The single player cinematic play is clearly like there is the Uber Tenno who seems to be the one Tenno to save them all, whereas the multiplayer aspect is like, there's a lot more than just one of us, and these have now diverged completely, and they need to do a now that this side thing is done with Margulis, whatever Lotus, and like the origin of Tenno and the stuff with Ballast. Now that's all done, they really need to bring in the quest to make it more that whatever's happening on, if we go to Deviri or whatever, it needs to be the Tenno as an entity of group of people that, like, you know, one's not enough, we can bring in the others, and the hand wave, where were they before, who cares, we're moving forward. I'd accept that, but I do not want to see more of this continued single player story. They finished that story, as I was joking before and saying, like, they finally made their Dark Sector game they always wanted to. They need to make this a complete multiplayer game again, because it's not. It's now two separate games. It really feels that way to me.
I honestly don't know if they can. Look at how games like Star Wars: The Old Republic failed to do it.
It is really hard to write a multiplayer story, right?
Where we had one dungeon or technically two, with multiple narratives, with multiple directions.
I don't need any of that. I don't need any of that. All I need is things like Second Dream to show an animation with other Lisettes flying off and Lotus saying the other Tenno will be guided by their Cephalons and shepherded to their orbiters. All I need is a thing where the queens go, well, if you know, when they're trying to take over you and you reject them, and it says like, well, fine, if you won't do it, I'll find another Tenno who I can take over. This just needs one line here and there.
So you're not talking about multiplayer?
No, I just need the narrative to acknowledge it. I don't want multiplayer. I want the narrative to actually come back.
There are voice lines from the younger queen, or whatever, the little queen, about the only way you're allowed to step off of the Kuva production line is if any of the dreamers in their ugly metal puppets arrive.
Is that in the quest or in the Kuva missions?
I will have to find exactly where it comes because I don't know. I don't know for sure. I know that it's in one of the Tenno Tune songs.
I know that it's definitely used in the Kuva Fortress, but I don't know if it's exclusively in regular missions or if it's in the quest as well.
I don't remember it being
I just know that the line exists.
I don't remember it being in the quest. I think it is just part of the Kuva Fortress when she's talking over the speaker and stuff.
But that is important to note that she still acknowledges that there are multiple of us.
There's, in the entire War Within transcript, there is 2 mentions the Worm Queen makes to Dreamers, which are one, the intro cinematic. She says, but the Dreamers have awakened, they will come for us. And then in the fight, back in the fortress, sister, the Dreamers come for us, and that's it. That's it.
So the first one, she does say Dreamers. But like they have awoken, and they will come for us.
The thing is, we acknowledge that. No, but the line that you've raised is part of just the environment.
Yeah, the line, yeah, that lines. But even so, now that we know that to be honest, we could easily fix. I could easily make the illusion from in-game knowledge that the Worm Queens would have an understanding of non-linear time, and they know that one Tenno could be multiple Tenno, and they might even know about the Drifter, and so that's why they say Dreamers, as in the Dreamers is one entity.
Okay, so let's talk about Alad V then. Alad V
in
does
which
talk
quest?
About opening up in his boss lines. Talks about opening up the warframes.
Ah, yeah, but
Yeah.
one Tenno could control multiple warframes. Somebody said that there's proof that there's multiple Tenno because Carl finds the Rhino on the plains. But to be honest, that
Yeah.
could have been your operator in the you don't play it, but that could have been your Rhino from your operator, and it just died, and your operator's got in a different warframe.
I think it's not reasonable to think that we control multiple at once.
Not once, no. But when you lose one, you just get in another one.
Sure.
There's no, it could work like that. It's nothing to allude that there is more than one Tenno.
That's why I was pointing out. Well, there is because we operate in cells, and that's been around since the very beginning of the game.
Only in that's I bet that's the thing is that's really old text.
Fine,
but it's also not in the cinematics. The cinematics is my key thing. The cinematics do not gel with the game. I'm totally with you. In my opinion, the game is there are multiple Tenno.
The cinematics start with Vor's Prize, which is not where the game started and not where we started getting story.
No. Those are part of the main story quest. The actual cinematic quests start with Second Dream.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I'm interpreting that as well. I see what you're saying, Tobiah, and I do agree with you. And I want it to be like that one mesh thing, but it is just that
I think you're splitting it too much, is what I'm saying. I think you're forcing a split from the cinematics being the only informational pathway in how the universe actually is.
But I'm interpreting information given in the cinematics because that's when this started happening. Because you're totally
Only
right.
in the cinematics is my point.
Yeah, exactly. But that's my point, is that I want the cinematics to gel with everything else. As you pointed out, they just did with Vor's Prize, with the boss fights, with Cells and Mention. I used to love that stuff. That's the stuff I hinge on every word of. And then the cinematics start coming out, and it feels like, hey, we want to make a single-player game. And since the Second Dream, which was the first one, they've all been on, that's the pathway we're going. That was the big change. And they've just, instead of just trying to measure in, Steve even agreed with me when I said about After War Within. He was like, that's a very good point. We're going to have to think about that for the future. I think he said something along those lines. And they just haven't. They've just carried on into their single player game that they just want to. It almost feels like they're just bored of a multiplayer and they want to make a single player game because they can do better stories that way. And they don't want to even put. And I'm not talking about big changes. Literally, I just want single characters to say one or two more voice lines at certain points to make the illusion of more characters. That's all it would take. Like literally, the worm queen, the queens getting annoyed at you and saying, "Fine, this one's defective. I'll get another one, maybe one that's weaker that won't resist me." That's all it would take.
So let's say we're going off of only things with cinematics. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Intro cinematic for the new player experience is what? For Tenno.
No. But after waking up. I'm not alluding that in the old war. No, in the old war. No. The thing is, the cinematic quests, right? That's maybe I didn't explain that.
Tenno disappeared.
Yeah, the Tenno. Yeah.
Not one disappearing.
No. Sorry, maybe I didn't explain my problem with the story. It's not that there was only one Tenno forever, right? The old war stuff, like you've got the bit with Era fighting multiple of them. You've got in anything in the Oricon War, it was clearly multiple Tenno. But you are in the cinematic quest from the Second Dream, the only Tenno who woke up. There's nothing showing any other Tenno.
You're even the only warframe that we see the Lotus revive.
Yes.
Assuming we are only using the cinematic quests as the information for how the world exists. Yes, but that's wrong.
No, right, but the cinematic quests, right? When I'm doing a cinematic quest, I'm on a story, right? And those stories has to gel with the entire game. It doesn't. It has its own separate narrative. 15
other quests.
No, yeah, but those are fine, and those are fine. I'm with you. Those merge with the game perfectly. Like you're saying, the Vor's Quest stuff and all that stuff, everything up. It's when they started coming out with the first one where it started being a little bit crack. Was the Second Dream? That's when they decided, for our story elements, we will not only focus on a single player character, but they don't even take the time to add in a few little voice lines to be like the boss lines that used to say.
What does the man on the wall ask you before you make the deal?
Oh no! But again, that's the pattern.
Do you want me to save?
No. Tobiah, I'm totally telling you.
That's in the cinematic quest.
No, I'm with you.
Old War.
No, that's Old War.
Old War.
Guys,
it doesn't matter.
Guys.
No, Tobiah. No, Drew. Tobiah's confused. He's not understanding. He's not understanding our point.
I'm not confused.
No, you are right. The Old War. I'm totally saying there's multiple Tenno, right? And the Sentients fought an army of Tenno because you see even several floating behind Lotus, right? Then we all went to sleep, cryosleep. Based on what you see on all of the quests post waking up. from the point that, from Vor's Prize or whatever the changed version is when we get into the thing, right? In the current timeline, where there's Grineer, where there's Corpus, where there's Infested, where the Sentients are a coming threat, in that time point, all the cinematic quests show you are the only Tenno who may get off the moon. You are the only Tenno who Lotus helps. You're the only Tenno that Stalker comes after. There's nothing to allude there's more Tenno awake. I'm totally agree with you. On the Terran Senator, there was many Tenno. In the past, with the Orokin Empire, there was many Tenno. But we appear to be the only one that survived the freezing process.
Okay.
Which is why I'm
Tobiah,
also pointing
go.
out, because the comics, which are part of the story, just like the webcomics are, show multiple Tenno, and she references them as multiple Tenno. I cannot lose another Tenno is one of the specific lines.
That's cool. Can I have that in a cinematic quest, please?
Wait, actually,
Once again-
doesn't she
once
say
again,
that in
going back
the...
to my point, you're taking only one.
You cut out.
You cut out.
Okay, the cinematic quests are not our only information.
No, but see,
after we are awake.
I'm with you, but that to me, then they should be one thing which merges together, and I'm with you because that's the multiplayer game I'm playing. There are multiple Tenno, and I'm with you. The comics fit with that perfectly. The quests fit that perfectly. The cinematic quests do not gel with that understanding. I'm with you. I think multiple Tenno did wake up. I agree with you the way the conic timeline. That is the timeline I want to be playing. But the cinematic quests they are heading towards do not meld with that. I agree with you that I'm only taking them as example because they're the only things which do not agree with the rest of the story.
Nasuth.
Oh no, I don't have anything to add at the moment. Although I was going to say, doesn't she even say in the new opening quest, I can't lose another Tenno?
Yeah, but that doesn't count because that's not a cinematic quest.
I mean, it kind of is now.
I no,
Well,
actually, no. I'll take it back. No, if I haven't played that bit. No. To be fair, I haven't actually played that. If it does say that, that's good. I agree with that. If I've not played the redone new player experience, if that is a line in there, I'm very happy that line is there, and I want more lines like that.
I know it for sure used to be in the old version.
Okay, so I'm feeling that this is getting quite heated.
No, it's not heated at all.
Well, everyone's talking over each other.
Once or twice. I think Tobiah's checking some stuff because I think he's gonna. And if he can find something, I would be so happy. If he can find me something, I want to be proven wrong on this. I really do.
Well, the whole point of the Arbiters of Hexus being, that the Tenno are more than just warriors. But
I think the point
it's not
is
a cinematic quest, so it doesn't matter.
I think the point is, right, that DE haven't done a cinematic quest that makes reference to multiple Tenno, and it's a point that is very valid. It's, maybe one day they'll address it. I think realistically, this question should be asked again of Steve and Cam Rogers. I think there was someone else that was on the writing staff for the new war. Does anyone else have any final points that they want to raise for this point?
Nope.
No. I think we've debated our points on it. No, yeah.
Just checking with Nasuth because I can't actually see his face. Nasuth?
I think we've lost him.
He might have died. Maybe he needs to punch his microphone.
Percussive. What was it? Percussive.
Percussive maintenance. Uh-oh.
Oh, we actually did lose him. Pause.
Rip.
Okay, we're back. So I think
No
Nasuth.
technical issues.
Yeah, Nasuth. Do you have any points you want to raise on this topic we've just been talking about?
Nope. I think that's it.
Do you have any points you want to raise at all in general?
I'd like to leave on one final good point. I think we're about to the end of this.
Yep.
One last good point, and that is that I know Laws has for a long time complained that they've taken the darkness out of Warframe.
Yes.
And I do feel like this quest brought some of it back.
Yes. My favorite bit was Fortuna when you're coming down and the song is perverted. I wasn't crying like Drew, but that gave me chills. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And
the Grineer bodies, the Grineer bodies down in Uranus, and yeah, just
No, I just love that the depth that you got of them singing the song, and obviously the song we had before was about us all working together and things, and instead it was this slow, almost like a funeral dirge, but it was all about just like a living in a dream and being subservient to this one that's brought purpose through. Oh, I can't remember what the first line is. It's like almost like unique, being freed of uniqueness or something. It was like, oh, it was just so you could just feel like the
liberation from freedom. I think is what it was.
That was it. It was like, oh, you know, before when it was all like we're working together for freedom, and then you had this complete 180, and I was chills from that. It was just like, it was beautiful. Yeah. The grimness was just, oh, just look at them all, little corrupted people with their VR helmets in the metaverse. Oh. Though some people have pointed out it was a bit weird that their helmets are up here and not here.
Oh, healed the pain of independence.
Oh, can you feel the grim? I can feel the grim and the cultiness. Oh, it's juicy. But the helmets are all up here.
In their new video of it, the portal is actually the sun portal.
Ah. Oh, at the back. Ah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I also love that it's like all of the Solarans are just standing there like with hands raised in praise of the armor.
But people pointing out that the VR helmets on the head, as in the robot head, not the head.
Oh my god! Did
you guys see that?
No,
I'll missed look closer at that because I'm not quite sure because we don't see the stomach head.
Yeah, you don't. I think maybe it was for if anyone who hadn't raised that rep, they didn't want this. They were trying to prevent that spoiler. And to be honest, I mean, I don't know how those helmets work, but they're working voodoo magic. So if it works on one, it just has to be connected to a neural area. And I'm sure the eyes on the robo head is enough to pervert the brain. It was fine, but it was so cool. It was so cool.
It's probably just more a matter of it being attached to your body. Let's be real.
Yeah. Oh, but it was so cool. And then I love the propaganda drones floating around. Oh, and then there was a Murex everywhere, just like omnipotent, just watching you. It's always in the skyboxes and things. Like, oh, it was so good. Any other points you want to raise about that, Nasuth?
Nope. I think that's it.
So good, so grim.
So good.
That's also why I was earlier putting this forward of that's the point of the quest I would love to have stopped and done 6 months on, because I loved that. We were under the boot heel of oppression and I wanted more. Anyway, I think Drew's completely switched off and in autopilot mode right now. So we're going to move on.
We're also just watching you buy random resource boosters.
I'm just like, go buy boosters because I'm like, I'll probably be playing. I think this because I was like, okay, I'm going to prep for the new war. I'm clearly going to be playing a lot of post-war, new war content because of all the cool stuff that's going to happen. Let me buy 30-day boosters. I regret this purchase. Right, anyway, so I think we're done with topics. We'll round it off. I'm sure we'll come back to this another time. Let's move on for Xeno's benefit. I'll turn the topics off. And let's kick him into graph mode.
Not off.
I'm trying to. There we go. There you
go. Cool. Right, so we're now on to graphs. Right, okay. So let's go to the graphs. So our first question from last week was, what did you think of the new war? You haven't put it on, Loz.
Oh, sorry, I was looking for myself. That's not thing. Hang on. Graphs. Yes.
Hey. Right, there we go. So no one said neutral, no one said negative. 41%. Oh, so this is actually changed. 41% said positive, and 59% said, "I forgot to come back to answer this question."
But
the question was asked on Monday, right? 2 days before New War came out.
Yeah.
Right. So they answered, "I forgot to come back."
Preemptively.
Yeah. So because they could come back and change their answer.
Oh, I get. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. So, the second graph we have for 2022. Do you want filler dev streams, increasing the dev streams back to 2 a month? So, I think I put in the description of the question, like, the sound panel, the
art panels,
yeah. 17%.
Consider those filler, but.
Well, no, I mean they don't normally discuss on progression of what they're currently working on. It's just how they do, you know.
What normally happens though is like in the sound panel you'll get a soundtrack from the new tile set they're working on, or maybe in an art panel like or his new enemy, and you get little leaks. I know that like in an hour's worth of stream, you only get like one or two little cool snippets, but at least it feels like that connection between us and DE is stronger when we have those.
Yeah. So 17% said that they didn't care, 21% said no, and 67% said yes. Why do I feel we're on the wrong question, Loz? Is that number 2?
You're 2 again. Sorry. Oh,
there
you go.
Two.
Sorry, I skipped ahead.
Right. So where are you guys on this? Loz?
Yes, I would like them back.
Tobiah?
Same.
Nasuth?
I'm fine with one a month, but I would like to see some of the other stuff incorporated into it. Maybe make it an hour and a half long.
I think you'll struggle with that.
So one a month, but with the other stuff. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, with a little bit of the art panel, because it doesn't feel like there's enough of that to really fill an hour.
I think it'd be a bit weird because you'd have to swap out like your hosts midway through.
I'm sensing a no from Nasuth. Right.
No.
The next one is what's it called? Do you want to be able to swap out Ordis/Lotus for another character to be your handler? 13% said no, 29% said that they didn't care, and 58% said yes. Well, the answer is tough shit. You can do it now.
Well,
kind
nuanced. You can, but it's still going to be the same voice lines.
Okay, come on, right?
On
this is opened up an opportunity for them to make big bucks.
100% agree. This is definitely going to be a great. Like I can see there being a syndicate. A syndicate. What did you call it? Handler.
Yeah.
A syndicate handler purchase from syndicates now, or those being Plat purchases. I'm guessing Plat purchases. Or Regal Aya purchases.
How long before they separate options you can have different bodies and heads on the handler and then armor attachments?
I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to do that. That was so messy during the acolytes when we first had them. You remember how the acolytes would show up and they would have your armor on?
No.
Okay, so there was a bug when the acolytes first happened long time ago in like 2017 when they were first introduced as like the rotating enemies for a little short while.
I thought it was 2016, right after the second dream.
It was probably 2016. I don't remember the exact time. I'm just saying when they were out as the event people, not as the Steel Path enemies.
Yeah.
And they would give the transmission. It was trying to show from like mid torso up, but the problem is that showed their shoulders, which used your shoulders.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of the Pakal armor.
Right. Okay.
I remember that. Yeah.
Cool. So the next question we have is, how do you feel about Natah's narrative change where she was forced to be the Lotus? Right. So obviously we've already spoken about this a bit. 4% said that they didn't care, 4% said negative, 30% said positive, and 61% said neutral.
He was forced to be Lotus.
Yeah, because
I don't think we ever really had clarity on that before.
Yeah.
I always assumed that.
No. So the original was that in the sacrifice, Hun Hao agreed to basically have Natah pretend to be Margulis as the Lotus, right? But then in Jupiter, it was rewritten that basically she was taken from her parents to become the Lotus.
Right, but isn't that possibly just a difference of perception? So, example, have all four of you or all three of you have watched the first season of The Witcher?
Yes.
I haven't, but do feel just spoil it. I don't mind.
I'm not going to spoil it, but someone is sold off into what she perceives initially to be slavery.
Yeah.
That's two different perspectives, right? Is the father saying, yeah, go take her, whereas she's saying, no, I don't want to be taken, and she's being taken away from her parents and she wants to go back. So I think it's just a difference of perspective where Hun Hao is saying, "Yeah, use my daughter," whereas Nata is saying, "No, I don't. I was taken away from my family."
Yeah, I feel it was like, yeah, yeah. I remember also, isn't there a line in the end where Nata was saying, "I remember you dissolving my old self and reshaping me," the Ballas?
Yes, yes, yeah. Spoilers, but yeah.
We're in spoilers, aren't we?
Anyway,
Yeah,
um,
questions.
This is narrative stuff, so it's definitely spoilers.
right. Well, I mean, I gotta be honest. I found it very confusing that there was
I
this
would love a
conflict.
timeline. I'd love a time. Can someone do a timeline like Margulis dies, Hunhow agrees to this, Ballas does this. I need literally a timeline to understand. I do not
Well,
understand.
that's literally it. That is literally the line.
Well, what I wonder is if Ballas let her get killed so that he could have a replacement that would love him.
Yeah.
He
Did he know
literally
that?
says that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is if he agreed with Hunhow before she died to replace her.
No, the narrative stipulates that she's already dead.
When does he get her memories? Does he take that out when she's dead?
You don't.
They're stored as Aya, clearly.
There's no clarification on how that works.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want
That is a
literally.
fair point with the Aya, though.
I want
There's
everything.
There's no clarification on how the memories survive.
What was agreed between Ballas and Hunhow?
That Ballas would tell Hunhow where the Tenno are if Hunhow gives him a sentient to manipulate the Tenno.
So Tobiah's right. It was two different perspectives because Hunhow was fine with it, whereas Nata didn't have a choice and was given to Ballas without deciding to.
No, but from her perspective, she says that effectively Hunhow never handed her over.
Well, she may not have known.
Yeah.
She may not have known that Hunhow handed her over.
I honestly,
I'm gonna have to overrule that objection as speculative.
Well, everything's speculative because we don't actually.
I want a timeline.
For fuck's sake. Right, let's move on to the last one. Right, if you're given the choice during the new war to kill or spare the Lotus, which would you take?
Kill.
52% said spare.
If you pick Nata or Margulis as the name, doesn't that mean you killed the Lotus because she's no longer the Lotus anymore?
No, because she still has all three voices. Moving on. Right, so that's
also an inaccurate question because we wouldn't have killed the Lotus. The Lotus was already dead. We would have been choosing to spare Nata.
Dear God, please kill me. Right. Okay.
This is fun.
Bloody 3:30 in the morning. I'm dying here. Right. Yeah. God, why'd you hate me?
Where are the memes? I need the memes.
Right.
He needs memes. He's got to wait. What have I got next? Is it support questions? What have I got buttons for? Button support question. There we go.
Yep.
Right, first of all, Zoogle. Oh God, I'm going to have to open the original on this. Okay. Oh, but before we start the supporter questions, I'm going to ask everyone to make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it if you can. It really helps. Okay. How has your holiday been?
Good until tonight, right, Xeno? Yeah.
What holiday?
The holiday's in like 2 weeks or in a week.
I think maybe after Christmas, after New Year, Zoogle. After New War.
Like, my holiday doesn't start until tomorrow after this episode is out.
Oh, right. So, Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah, Tuesday.
My second question was about the size of the update before I changed it, in case you were wondering about Call 3303's response to me. Okay. Call 303, the worst Call 3303 ever, says, it is likely how they package and structure the installation, because downloading entire files again would take far too much data, all download managers have the ability to replace only chunks of them, meaning you won't need to resend the chunks that haven't changed. But download managers have different implementations for this. Replacing characters is fine, but what happens, for example, if you add one line of code in chunk 1 and that shifts chunks 2 to 10 up one line? Also depends on implementation on the dev's end. I know Payday 2 regularly had to download 3 to 5 GB because of hotfixes. As for why PC would be smaller otherwise, we know they used to preload some unimplemented stuff beforehand or had it leak through version control, so another explanation makes little sense.
Indeed.
Okay.
Cool.
The Prophet of Zephyr. Well, the new war has come, and we've all now experienced it. At least I assume so from how long I saw you guys online on the day of release. The Viri Paradox when?
Tuesday.
Years.
2037. They gotta wait for the bans to count to lift.
Tuesday.
Wait, no, they'll make it in 2037, but since it's a paradox, we'll actually get it in 2013.
Tuesday.
Okay.
Before the game came out?
Yeah, it's a paradox.
To ask this in a way that contains no spoilers, the quest saw the return of the yin-yang style of choices, where you had the fiery, bold choices, the neutral ones, and the more calm and thoughtful ones. For the final choice of the quest, did you pick light, neutral, dark? I think we've answered this one, haven't we? We all
Yes.
did. Yeah.
Neutral.
Yes.
Darkness. Darkness. In the abyss. Right, that's
now,
it.
neutral later.
That's it
Yes.
for the spoiler responses. Quick few community responses. Janice Ackots. In my opinion, Warframe is. Oh no, wait, no, I've already had that one. That's last week's. Sorry. Peter Graver. Also, Xeno and Loz, I've created some new War/Steel Path builds for you. Excalibur build for Loz, and Oberon for Xeno. Thank you. These also include weapon combos: Kuva Chakur, Kuva Brak, and Skajiti for Loz. Probiscus Cernos, Kuva Brak, and.
Skiajati.
Look, chimeras live in
shooting.
chasms, okay? Chimeras live in chasms. That's all I'm going to say. And
Chimeras live in chasms.
chimeras,
Oh my god, move on.
and Plague Kiwa, Scythe, Saw for Xeno. I might just Twitch stream them at some point, or if there is another way I can get them to you, let me know. Xeno, how will people get you stuff?
Well, link it in game. They put in this really cool feature where you can do that.
But you'd have to be logged in to do that. What if you're not logged in?
Oh, log in.
Or print
Send them
screens?
Yeah,
Make an overframe. Make an overframe.gg or a Warframe builder link, and put it in a comment or.
No, do not put it in a comment. Do not, for the love of God, do not put it in a comment. YouTube will
Is
delete
that not
it.
allowed?
No,
Oh, okay, don't do
YouTube's
that.
like, YouTube sees URLs and it's like, oh, I see you put a URL in here. I'm going to delete this.
Well, if not, I
Okay,
think there's probably a link in the description to Xeno's Discord. Please join that and probably
Yeah.
put it on there. That's another way to put it.
Hey, that's the best way.
Yeah. Morton Halgren, we're talking about reproduction in the infestation. Like, do they need another body last week? I would assume the wildlife on Demos is somewhat independent of the introduction of new hosts to infect. There are chargers and the like running around, but these can be easily excused as newly arrived opportunists that got in over their head. That being said, Demos mentions the local infestation being the so-called grey strain, so who knows if the regular infestation can produce the same genetic templates.
I also have
yes.
no idea what gray strain means.
We don't know.
It's just called it.
Drugel says, what if Caliban doesn't get a Prime but gets a Wraith version? Ooh.
Why would it have a Wraith version?
Wraith is Grenier.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
Brendan Leach says, hey guys, I'm a new listener. I've heard you guys talk about farming Ire a lot. I wanted to talk to you guys about this. I haven't farmed any Ire in the plains or anywhere, but I've gotten at least 10 or 20 Ire without trying and minimal effort. Most people have max standing with the Syndicate and have gotten everything I need from them, as so have I. I now use their standing to buy relic packs every time I hit max standing. These relic packs have a chance of giving Ire. I just got low-key from doing this. I hope this helps everyone with their Ire farming. Yep, that's still going.
I know that.
Yeah, that's
It's
still going.
still pretty RNG based though.
because
Okay.
So for example, last time when I was sitting on a call with Nasuth and we were cracking, I was cracking packs so that we could go crack relics. I think I got 4 just from a quick 6 packs, so it's not a terrible rate.
Yeah. Rates will vary, but yes.
Like you said though, yeah, it's obviously RNG still, so it's going to vary on your mileage.
As my last point, which is just from Trex Paddock, sadly, I've been farming Ire since the event started, and to date have gotten 0 of them.
Still.
That just sounds like you're doing it at the wrong place, honestly.
Yeah, poor Trex.
Doing bounties, I got 4 in 1 bounty.
Wow.
So
Keep trying,
I thought
Trex.
they took it off the bounties.
No, they took it off the Ghoul bounty. Although it's back, it's just a final stage award.
Okay.
Well, keep trying, Trex. beat that statistical anomaly that you seem to be. You can get some higher. Keep trying. Right, that is it for the support questions and the community responses. Let's move on to the memes. These are all the memes from r/meme frame subreddit. I don't know if you guys have some links, so I see Xeno doing it as well. Oh, you already linked it. Okay, cool. So let's have some memes. So they all come from the r/meme frame subreddit. There are links in the description for everyone if you want to go straight to the Reddit page with it. Also a secret meme. Sadly, no videos at the moment, but so I've just gone with just a random meme, and let's go through them. So starting with meme number 1, which I think is very apt. It also depends on what the definition of challenge for DE. So here we have from the Gillette advert of a few years ago as DE. Any attempt to balance Warframe or make it more challenging, and stopped by the community.
Yeah.
Totally true.
Yeah.
I think the community got behind the Steel Path pretty quick.
Yeah, but that's just literally up the numbers. Like anything, like trying to make it more complex. Like, oh, let's put these weak vulnerable points you have to shoot, otherwise it's invincible. Wah!
I think our problem there, though, was that they would spawn too much. As mini bosses, it's a problem because they would show up too much and disrupt the flow of gameplay.
Just pointing out, you're trying to explain the meme here.
I know he was going off my point, and I think it was fine. It was valid what you were saying. So meme number 2. I just want to look classy for Mom tomorrow. Some people, why do you use those colours? They're basic and overused. Me, my white, black, and gold colour scheme. I just think they're neat. There is a running theme. There's several of these memes where people like make jokes about this, about people overusing black, white, and gold. Like, but it's the prime colours. What do you expect?
You all also clearly need to come check out our Warframe runway. So.
There's a fashion frame subreddit as well, I think. Right, well, meme number 3. Oh, is that the fashion frame subreddit? Oh, there we go.
That is the fashion subreddit, yeah.
I might actually go there, actually, because to me it's just like black, white, red, and gold, or crazy colours, so maybe there's a nice in between. Anyway, sad noises.
There's lots of people that will give out their themes, and they're really good about it.
Oh, cool. Right, sad noises. Everyone playing the new war. Me not being able to play because I don't have a necromech.
Lol.
Oof.
So several community servers have been working to fix that by giving away necromechs. So I've given away 10 so far.
Nice. See, Warframe has the best community. 1, 2, 3. We're on to meme number 4. Oh no! Oh, that's. Have I pushed the wrong one? Hang on.
Yeah.
Have I got these in the wrong order? Hang on.
That's not even in this week's.
Yeah, I don't know if you've changed it, Loz, and
oh, okay.
To save it. Pause.
Weren't you trying to?
No. Hang on, I'll just give this link.
I know what it is. Drew has the one with the. One of them has a spoiler in it.
It's a spoiler one. Sorry, I haven't updated the text as well. Anyway, this is the link for this one.
Okay.
Don't need to pause. Bruh. Me right now. Use Umbra for New War because of his story importance. Use my favourite frame for New War.
I solved
this. I solved this by my favorite frame being a fully Umbra'd Excalibur Prime.
Nice. Okay, I'll link you there again. So now we're just gonna move on to meme number 5. He looks very excited. Look, brothers!
Yeah.
Boobies.
Oh, classic.
A classic indeed.
Okay.
And
hey, you're not monetized. Hey.
Wow.
No, we're not monetized. And finally, last meme of the week. Meme number 6. I don't know how, but it all happened in a Meso mission. New player with Excalibur equipped with Scanner and Lato. Founder with Excalibur Prime equipped with Scanner and Lato Prime. And I don't quite get this one. What? Me with Excalibur Umbra equipped with Lato Umbra and Scanner Umbra.
What?
Yeah.
There is no Lato Umbra.
Yeah.
No.
There is no Lato Umbra.
There's a Prisma Lato and a Prisma Scanner, so maybe.
Yeah, but there's also
or maybe,
Prisma Excalibur.
Maybe they paid to have their weapons renamed.
Okay, fair. I feel like I'm also being called out because I do this all the time.
Oh shit, I'm explaining the meme, I'm sorry.
Explaining the meme. Right, well, that's it for the memes. So now we will go on to the last section so Xeno can have his sleepy time. We're on to the community shout-out. So, Xeno, what have we got?
I like how your tones have gone like really dulcet, and it's just putting me to sleep.
Just
Anyway,
want to
so
lull you
the
asleep with the
first,
subtleties of my voice here on
yeah,
Radio Tenno
the first.
FM.
Stop it! I thought you were letting me finish this.
No.
The first community shout out is Operator Zunda is back in business, baby, by Valerium, also known as Veldemoth. So I quite like this one. This is very much the god Drakengard, the whole eye flower thing.
Yeah. We
yeah.
don't have that in game yet, do we?
No, we need it. Right.
No, send it to Reb until it's in game.
Yeah, Reb, we need a flower eye thing. Right. So the second community shout out is Wisp and Ureli by Zero Control. So we got the image of Wisp on screen. Oh fuck! I forgot to send the bloody things to the other two.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I'll just wait to watch
Where
them
were the other two?
on the episode.
Right.
Nasuth, we're the other two.
Yeah, you're the other two.
He's functioning on about 25% brain capacity right now.
I am, dude. I'm lucky if I'm functioning on 2.5% brain power at the moment.
Okay.
Right. So the third community shout out is Work in Progress by Shadrad, and I thought it was freaking amazing.
This is in progress, is it? Not beautiful and complete. No, this is in progress.
Oh my goodness.
It's like, could you please just not touch it and just send it to me, please? Kindly.
Right. Well, I mean,
Looks like a
clearly, you guys have seen Futurama when they see the perfect actor and their souls just leave their bodies. That's what this is going to happen. You know, they're going to finish. Shad's going to finish this, and then all of a sudden, right? Okay, so moving on to the fourth community. Sorry, fourth community shout. So this is Frost by Neji210.
Oh, it's adorable.
That is amazing.
We had a vault recently.
I love that it looks very similar to the 8-bit Warframe.
Oh, yes. May rest in peace.
Fifth community shout out is Voidrig by Dasta Creations. I have never seen Dasta do anything like this with this angle and everything.
Wow.
This really actually caught my eye, and I thought this was really cool, and I needed to give it a shout out.
Love the perspective. I love the style.
Yeah, that makes me tingly.
Well,
not weird tingly.
Sure.
No,
not weird tingly.
Hey, he said tingly. So right. So then we're gonna move on. I mean, unless he means tingle.
What am I looking at?
Right. So and then the sixth community shout out is Ivara Seno Shirogane by Takayali. Right.
Seno is a sub-design on sentient merging with Tenno's Warframe. I used the base sentient color theme first. Hope you guys like this Ivara.
Yeah. So
I would wear that as a skin.
I don't know if it would be too distracting for me because I'll probably be looking at it for like the next several years, and then my brain would just melt.
I don't think we could logically have this as a skin because it's so much. And they just don't do skins that do that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they'd try.
They would try, but I don't think they could recreate this. They could like some of it, but it wouldn't have this amazing energy that you can see here.
Right. So that's it for the community shoutouts. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Tobiah, Nasuth, thank you so much for joining us in this monolith of an episode.
I think it's our longest.
Pleasure as always.
It's not our longest.
No.
It's not far off.
Yeah,
but
it's 45. It's at least 45 minutes off.
No, it's not, because the longest one is 3 hours and 45 minutes. So it's only it's less than half an hour off.
Well, let's debate this for half an hour more.
I'm pretty sure
for 3:45 in the fucking morning, I want to go to bed, man. Right? I've got to be out. I've got to go meet a friend. I'm tired. I'm a sleepy boy.
I give him blood tomorrow, man.
Yeah, exactly. As Loz says, meh.
I swear that the episode that we had with Silverbones and Crash was like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Nope.
Did you edit it down from 4 hours?
Nope, it was never 4 hours. Longest one, 3 hours and 45 minutes.
Well,
Number
Nice.
Goodness.
Technically.
150 has been for the longest time.
technically, the longest ones will be 24 hours long.
Those aren't 10 o'clock.
They will have
Not
to
Those
go.
are
right
the
now.
people from 10 o'clock.
But what
Yeah.
makes it 10 o'clock?
Oh my god, can we hit the
let's,
off button now?
let's debate this point. No,
Off.
well, let's say goodbye.
Off.
Bye, everyone. Let's say
Off.
let our guests say goodbye.
Goodbye. It's been a pleasure.
Always nice to see you, Tenno.
There we go. All right, see you guys when's the next one, Drew? Just let people know last time.
This the 4th of January, Tuesday the 4th of January.
And with that, we bid you goodbye and good night.